Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright.
Hello.
Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, bringing hope and make you rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let the
I see you, Mufon Jonah.
shine to the
Good
whole
evening.
world, whole world. Light,
Ansela, I see you. Chigozi, I see you. Good evening. I'm tired, but I have to be here. Hello, my dear cousin. Ayonite, Lojobobo. Good evening. I hope you are good. Thank you so much for joining. Please help share this live. That's all I ask for, really. Help share this live to your friends, especially the ones who are married, the ones aspiring to get married, the one talking about that sweet relationship. Please share this link to them. Let them be part of this live today. I see you, user 286088, all of that. Good evening. I hope you are good.
Bring understanding and love.
I hope we're good. Happy Thursday. It's the day, the day the Lord has made. Christiana, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not sure whether to pronounce that surname or not. Owir. I don't know. Nyango, I see you. Meranko, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Thomas Fresh, I see you. Good evening. Thank you for the likes. Help share. Hey, Bishop, I see you somewhere there. I hope you are good. I saw all the boogieing. Happy birthday to your beautiful wife. I see you, Coach Tola. Good evening. It's been a very, very long time. Jane Avina. Good evening. Welcome to Insight. Please help share this live because I'm going to start my talk very soon. And then we'll bring us up afterwards to share our views, to rub minds together, to help one another learn, unlearn, and relearn so that we can grow better. And of course, enjoy our marriages better. That's the whole idea, really. I see you, Jane. Please help share this live to your friends. Let them be part of our talk today. Let them be part of this discussion today. It's a very crucial one, a very deep one, sensitive one. But I promise it's going to be insightful because, like I always say, I dare us to talk about certain topics relating to marriage here on Insight. Topics we shy away from, topics affecting our marriages, topic that is separating couples, even some, divorce. Yeah, we don't like saying the D word, but we all know that these days the rate at which divorce rate is skyrocketing. It's appalling, really. But in a way, I still get encouraged because I still see couples getting married as well. So some are going out of it, some are newly going into it. Life, they say, is it balanced? We don't know, but we will try our best to keep things balanced. That's why we need to tell each other certain truths that we shy away from. If you have a husband, please get a cup of tea, ask them to come sit and listen. If you have a wife, tell them to come and listen. Let's rub minds together. Let us help one another. Because like I always say, God is the founder of marriage. I mean, that's the most profound word. He's the founder of marriage. God instituted the marriage institution. And of course, everything God created was good. According to my Bible, everything he created was good. However, we see that we have issues in marriages. And of course, marriages were addressed in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, and all of that. And if we have this manual to kind of guide us, how we ought to live in our marriages, why then are we having big issues to the point that people are asking for divorce? Is it so bad that we cannot sit and talk effectively and converse productively so that we can enjoy this marriage institution? And then again, you divorce or separate, you go and meet somebody else to start a new life. What is the guarantee that you're not going to have issues in that one again? So let's pause for a second and reflect about things. What is that thing maybe you can't forgive? What is that conflict that seems like a stumbling block? What is that conflict that is making you think about the D word? Yeah, or the separation word. What is that thing? And again, I will say, apart from domestic violence, domestic abuse, and all of that, we have some unhealthy relationships. Aside those ones are chronic. That even me, I will not, advise anyone to stay in such, because we see people lose their lives because they just want to stick it up, and they don't want to go to the D word level and things like that. But you and I know that aside, all the domestic, which is extreme really, there are other issues that affect marriage institution to the point that they want to go their separate ways. But those things really, is it worth it breaking up our marriages? Or can we just sit and talk things through? Let us put aside our pride, our ego, all those things that, will not help us to progress in that marriage. I've not started my talk, I'm just doing my preamble, so to say. But just to kind of usher us into this topic today, conflicts in marriage. Of course, we're going to experience conflict from time to time. If any couples come to tell you that, we don't have conflict, so tell them, I don't think you've started that marriage yet. Hello, Elder Adebenga. I see you. Good evening. Oh, thank you for the heart. May you're welcome. Okay, perhaps I should just start because of time so that we all can, give our contributions, and we probably can go to bed early tonight. But let me not jinx that. Because every time I say that, we say the longest. So let me not. Brother Isaac, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Please, Elder Adebenga, help us share this live. You know the drill. Let's share this live. Let's tap as we come so that others can join. They'll get attracted when we start tapping away. And a heart me would suffice as well, just to support this community. If you like what you hear from week in, week out, that's the least you can help me do. Just a heart to me will suffice, just so that I know that, for me, well done. I need that encouragement as well. Raquel, I see you. Thank you so much. Oluwasho, thank you. I see you. I think it's Elder Adebenga. Okay, so let me go into my talk so that we have an understanding to it. I don't know if there's a match on, but if you hear any loud noise, apologies. Like I always say, in my household is full of boys. When you hear their noise, you know that probably there's a match on. That's the only time you know I've got children in this house. So let's look at conflicts in marriage. I gave it a subtitle: Understanding, Navigating, and Growing Through Disagreement. Because I kid you not, disagreement will come, but it's not how we manage it that helps us remain in that marriage and enjoying that marriage. If I say, oh, there won't be conflict, I don't mind those people, I'll be lying to you. And I'm not one for that. So we keep it real and simple so that everybody can benefit, from what we're doing here. So please help share this live to all your friends. Let them be part of this crucial, critical talk. And like I'm going to say here, you can reach out to me at the end of this program. If whatever we're discussing today is triggering certain things for you and you just feel you need a space to offload. I'm a professional counselor, an integrative counselor, a Christian counselor. Please reach out to me and let's see how we can help one another further. So without wasting too much time, time is precious. I'll go into my talk. Let's listen, reflect. You can jot one or two things that I may not have covered, so you can come share with us when I open the boxes for us to come and share our experiences or whatever we want to share with us, really. So we all know marriage is often portrayed as a journey of love. Love is in the air, laughter and companionship. And of course it is. But along this journey, couples will face bumps in the road, which is normal as well. One of those bumps, sometimes more like mountains, is conflict. I bet even if you've been married for a month, 2 months, 20 years, you sit down and say, we had that conflict. I remember this conflict. I remember that conflict, or conflicts, So many. I mean, I've gone through my own fair share in my marriage as well. So it's not something to shy away from, but let's talk about it openly, honestly, so that we can find ways to cope in. So conflict is one of the many issues couples will face in their marriage institution or marriage life, and you can't run away from it. You can avoid it, sneak past it, and not bam, you meet a big one in front. And I'm not cursing anyone, it's just the reality of marriage. And like I said, these things, if not handled properly, can lead to the divorce, can lead to separation. And of course, we don't want that. After putting in all those years of energy, effort, sacrifice, tolerance, and all of that, and at the end of the day, you still have to go to the D word just because, this person's pride, or this person's ego, or this person is not compromising, this person is not this or that. We can give all sort of excuses. But one of my mentors used to say, excuses are for failures. I don't want to be a failure in my marriage, so no more excuses. Let us sit and address that issue and see how far we can, manage it. So today we're talking about a topic that many couples experience, but few want to openly talk about it. That's why I will not mind if it's just a handful of us that end up here on Inside today. It's fine, it's all good, but promise you it's going to be an insightful one. Conflicts in marriage. So not because we want to dwell on negativity, but because learning to handle conflict wisely can actually strengthen a marriage. Do you actually believe that? Because like I said, it will never go away. From time to time, as you're overcoming one conflict, give it a few time, you find out that another one is just surfacing, and this is part of a marriage institution. But how do we handle it so that we'll still enjoy each other's company, we'll still enjoy the benefits, the goodness of that marriage? So pay attention, call your friends, family, loved ones. Let us openly, honestly talk about this topic. I see you, Osa First Care. Hello to you. Good evening. Happy Thursday. So, what is conflict in marriage? So, we're going to break it down some more so that we can understand, especially for the newlyweds, so that at least you have an understanding of what we're trying to talk about today. Conflict in marriage doesn't mean the relationship is broken. So I really need us to understand, because sometimes we lump things up and we get even more confused. Let's break it down. Conflict in marriage doesn't mean the relationship is broken. Well, at least not most of the time doesn't mean that. It simply means two different people with different backgrounds, different personalities and desires are learning to live as one is very tasking. It's very demanding. It could demand some sacrificial giving, some sacrificial time, or whatever it is. It's natural and it happens in every relationship, like I said. In fact, if you have not experienced conflict in your marriage so far, you need to check. Something is not just right, or something is not real. I understand you might be in sync, with your partner. Kudos, well done. But at some point, there's bound to be one or two conflict that will come your way, except you guys are in denial. That's another story for another day. So let's look at some common causes of conflict. I'm just going to list them and I'll break them down as I go on. So stay tuned. Keep inviting those friends, and please keep tapping, keep sharing, keep loving. I don't know what else to say, but keep at it. It's crucial. Like I said, it's a very sensitive topic, and I'm mindful. That's why I say if you need to reach out to me after this live, please feel free. You can DM me, and we'll see how far we can go. So common sources of conflict. Why is there conflict in a marriage to start with? There's so many reasons why. It could be communication differences. Once upon a time, you could finish each other's sentences, and then after a while, it's like, I've just said this, but you're saying that. You're speaking different language. Now each of you have gone to learn Chinese. This one has gone to learn Spanish, and you're speaking your languages. Is like, what on earth are you talking about? So communication differences can cause conflict. Financial stress or priorities can cause conflict. I was just chatting with a neighbor there not too long ago, talking about financial situations. In fact, generally in the world, it's like the harder you work, the fewer you're earning and things like that, and it's like you're just going round and round in circle. You need something to do to break forth. So financial stress or priorities can cause conflict in a marriage setting. Again, parenting styles can be another conflict. My parent didn't bring me up this way. I'm not going to bring my children up this way. The husband wants to bring them up this way. The wife wants to bring them up this way. And they're not working together as a team. They say teamwork makes the dream work. But you find out that they have different parental styles and they are so adamant about it. And before you know, there's conflict. And before you know, it can actually get so serious that they're thinking of separating for a while. Honestly, the things we put ourselves through sometimes, only God will help us. Again, another common source of conflict is the in-laws and extended family, quote and unquote. The in-laws can create conflict when they try to, when they see the man love the wife too much, or the wife love the man too much, and they'll be like, do we not matter anymore? We were there before you were born. They start speaking all sort of English and all of that. Before you know, they will bring something that will create conflict. And if you guys are not in sync as such, it might create a problem, for that family. Another cause is intimacy and emotional needs. When these are not met, like I said, I'm going to break them down as I go along. Time management and roles. Some people, time is not in the agenda at all. They just do when they feel no time management whatsoever. Just do, live life, like that. And the other party is the one that is for time. They are more organized and things. And you just find out that they're always at conflict with one another because of time or lack of time management. And it can be a strain on that marriage relationship. Again, another source of conflict is unmet expectations. That's why we need to communicate. You cannot assume your partner knows what you're thinking, what you're expecting of them, if you don't actually sit down and talk about these expectations. Because at the end of the day, it might just be unrealistic. And you just feel, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But they're telling you that this is your expectation. Where on earth is it from? I cannot meet such. But you wouldn't know if you don't talk about it. So sometimes unmet expectations can create conflicts in a marriage relationship. So why conflicts arise? So I'll break it down. Unrealistic expectations, just like I said, it's unrealistic. And you might say, why is this? You're supposed to be my husband. You're supposed to be my wife. Who else will meet my expectations? But then, is it realistic? People often walk into marriage without thinking in their mind, without thinking of their spouse in their mind. You know, they feel, once I marry, my spouse will complete me or will complete them or automatically understand their needs. Hey, says who? This set of this set it kind of stages disappointment if care is not taken. So you can't just go into that thinking in your head, oh, your spouse or your partner is going to do this, going to do that. You're expecting that even in your mind. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they never knew about such expectations because they have their own expectations of you as well, or they have their own expectations of themselves in that marriage, and it's far from your thoughts. And how can you be on the same page in terms of expectations? You have to sit and talk about things. Do not assume. Otherwise, you're setting your marriage up for disappointment in either of you or both of you. A13, good evening. How are you? I hope you're good. Oh, thank you for the heart to me. So we need to be mindful because this is why there'll be conflict in that marriage. It will come up if your expectation is, always disappointing, or your expectations are not met, or you feel your spouse should know this, but say to them, because sometimes everybody has what they're thinking about, and just a word here and there would put a lot of ease into that marriage relationship. Again, lack of communication. Sometimes conflict comes not from what is said, but from what is left unsaid. Maybe some spouse will accuse their partner. The last time I heard I love you was the day we said I do at the altar. And this is 5 years into our marriage. I said, but I love you. You should know I love you. Hello. They want to hear it as often as possible, especially when they're saying it and you're just dismissing it, or you're just like, oh, you just smile and hug them and you don't say it back. At some point, you're going to look for your spouse's trouble, because they'll be like, oh, this is why I've always said I love you, but you just hug me, or you just go, can't you say it back? You say a cry for you to tell me how much you love me? As little as that may sound, it can actually bring conflict, because one party is the one that is, expressive, and the other, there's so many things that you will learn in marriage. Oh, I don't do this, I don't want to do that. But you say I do to this person, meaning you will do till Christ will come, or till whatever. And then bloody I love you is so hard for you to say, and you say you do. What do you do exactly? I want to know. So it's really sometimes more about what is not said. So be mindful. What is that thing your spouse love for you to say or to do? And it's not your own cup of tea, but it is their cup of tea and a bread even. Just give it to them. This is what we call sacrifice. This is what we call tolerance. This is what we call understanding. This is what we call support. This is what we call love. If you cannot communicate right, or your spouse is telling you this is how they want this or they need this, and you're feeling no, please. They don't have another husband, they don't have another wife, only you. So they need that from you. So please find it in your heart or within you to, as much as possible, hear one another. Where possible, make amends. I know sometimes it's not easy, something you're not used to, and here is this man, there is this woman, they want this all the time, and you just feel, is it not too much? That is love, sacrificial love. Okay, I know some people might be unnecessarily demanding. That's not what we're talking about here, but you guys understand what I'm saying anyways. So let's move on again. Why conflict in that marriage? Because of emotional baggage. Yes, I dare say it. Past hurts, childhood wounds, or previous relationship traumas. They can surface during your disagreement with your husband now. You may have dated 2 or 3 guys before you marry your husband or your wife, and then you bring all the emotional baggages, all the traumas you've experienced in those past relationships, and you now bring it here and you start lording things over your spouse, but they're not the one that hurt you. So don't bring those emotional baggage and lump it into this marriage. If you need to do therapy before you get married, please do so so that you can have closure, as we call it. Have closure with that person. Have closure with that broken relationship. Don't come and start torturing your spouse when you get to your marriage, because they're not the ones that broke your heart. So don't take things out on them. And if you don't talk about past hurts even, your spouse may not understand why you're behaving certain ways. Otherwise, it will just keep bringing conflict because they can't understand. And you haven't said anything to them, and they're not guessing. They're not in your mind to know what is going on with you or for you. So you have to talk about it. Talk about those, like when you're courting, what do you guys talk about? Mine has been many, many, many moons away. We talk about childhood. I talked about, deep things. We talk and talk about almost everything because I really want to know this person. I mean, before you get to the point of taking them to your house, they know your parents, they know this person, that person. What do you guys talk about? These days, I don't understand. What do you talk about? I really want to know. So if you're there in a relationship, planning to get married, tell me, please, if you can write or type in there, what do you guys talk about when you're courting? When you're getting to know one another, even when they've said I do, does your level of conversation deepens, or it gets on the surface because now we know we're getting married, so what's there to know again? Is that the attitude? Because I honestly want to know. But be mindful, because conflicts will arise when you have emotional baggages you haven't dealt with and you brought into that marriage. Lastly, the one I'll mention is personality differences. And this one is one of the major ones as well. One spouse may be direct and assertive. The other spouse may be more passive and emotional. So these differences can clash if not understood. I've had clients who would say, my spouse say I'm too emotional, especially from a man, because this client was a man, said my spouse said I'm too emotional. I said, okay, you've been in your marriage for 15 odd years. Did they not know you were emotional? I said, oh, they've got to their break point. It's like they can't handle their emotions anymore. It's just too much. It's overwhelming, this and that. They should maybe separate for a while. They need a space, And before you know, bam, you've been served the D. Personality differences. These are things I feel when you're courting, you need to know about your spouse and be truthful to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Can you handle this level of emotion, especially when it's coming from a man? And I had to do like a person-centered therapy with this client because we really need to understand them as a person. Just even forget every external person. Who are you as a person? Your childhood days, how was your parents, your family background, and all of those things. We had to know, find out about that, because you need to understand where you're coming from, why you are this way. Either you own it, and if you feel you want to change it, are you ready to change your personality? Really, sometimes some people do for the sake of marriage, and you find out that you're all better for it. So personality differences, if not understood properly, can clash and bring about conflict in that marriage. So let's look at the types of conflict we can experience in our marriages: a healthy conflict and an unhealthy conflict, as well as a toxic conflict. I'm going to be breaking them down so that we understand properly. So the first type is healthy conflict. This involves respectful disagreement. I mean, you both will sit and banter on and on, but it's done in a very respectful way. This is a healthy conflict, okay? Fine, we're not seeing eye to eye about this topic or this particular issue, but we're talking, we're agreeing to disagree respectfully. So you're not crossing the boundary, I'm not crossing the boundary. I'm making my point heard, and you're making your point heard as well, respectfully. And again, it seeks resolution, not victory. Please excuse me, we'll be back later. Okay, Adegbenga, please don't go and sleep off. I'll expect to see you back. Thank you so much for the tap-ins and the invites. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I was talking about healthy conflicts. The first thing is it involves respectful disagreement. So it's fine. You can disagree amicably, respectfully. I mean, there's no, who says you will not disagree with your spouse? I mean, there's no crime in that. Family life, I see you. Good evening. I hope you're good. So a healthy conflict will seek resolution, not victory. Because some will want to really say, I told you so. Like you're the winner, but this is your spouse. It's not a wrestling bout. It's not a wrestling ring. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. No, please, that is not healthy. A healthy conflict seeks resolution, not victory. So instead of saying, yes, I told you so, think of something positive to encourage your spouse so that at least they know that you've got their back. This is part of marriage, the support we're talking about. Don't be eager to say, oh, I told you so, boy, I told you so. And again, a healthy conflict leads to better understanding and growth. Like, when you married your partner, you were a certain age and you're still going to live many ages with them. You're growing, you're developing, and even you have not fully discovered the totality of you. How much more them knowing you as a total human being? So from time to time, you might have seasons where you've grown, you might have seasons where things kind of drop, and your spouse may notice this, or it could be for them as well, and you also notice this. So a healthy conflict leads to better understanding and growth. You know that, oh, this is where we're at. It's like, my spouse has gone to this level. I really need to catch up with them so that we can be on the same page to avoid conflicts and what have you. So there could be healthy conflict in a marriage as long as it's being understood. It's looking for solutions and it's done in a very respectful way. Yeah, why not? Why not? Because conflicts will always come. Like I say, it's how we handle it that either make or break us. So, I was talking about types of conflict. So let's go to the unhealthy conflict. Like I said, I've mentioned a healthy one. The unhealthy conflict exists. Even one that is worse than that. But let me break it down bit by bit. So the unhealthy conflict involves yelling, insult, or sometimes, mom's the word, silence. God help some of us. I've been like, I'm tired of talking and arguing. I'm not even going to talk anymore. But before you know, blah, 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 you start talking again. Oh, God help us. So unhealthy conflict involves yelling. When you start yelling, when you start calling names, and in your heart, you know you don't mean it, but you're angry because you're not seeing eye to eye about this issue, and you start insulting. Sometimes you will send your wife home, you will send your husband home, your father, your mother. Some people do this. Why? I do not know, and I don't know why I'm talking this way. Only me, for me, I'm using myself. But seriously speaking, when you know you start yelling, when there's a conflict, or you start insulting your spouse, this is no. This is a no. Nobody wants to be disrespected. Yeah, share your views. I don't buy it, but please do not insult me. Do not yell, because even if you yell, you're still going to speak saying the same thing. So please keep the voice down or something. And the unhealthy way is they're talking, you're just mute. You are mute like that, not responding. That can be very annoying, and it's going to aggravate that conflict some more. Another one is unhealthy conflict aims to hurt, blame, or control. It sounds silly, but these are experiences couples go through on a daily basis even. It's like I said, there'll be conflicts all the time, some of the time, sometimes none, or sometimes you have a breathing space before you know, bam, there's another conflict. When you're engaging in that conflict and you just want your partner to feel hurt because they're not understanding your point of view, or you just want to blame them because this has happened, and you argue, you talked about it, you remember you told them, let's do it this way, but they were arguing, this is better, and you did it now, you can blame them. It's your fault. You know I don't have a part in it. It is your fault. Hey, pause. Calm down. And sometimes unhealthy conflict is because of control. Some people, if they don't have their way, you will not have peace. So some spouses are like that. Sometimes they're not even aware they're doing this. Some are in denial, no doubt, and some do it deliberately, and that's just the truth. Is it something you want to hear? No, but it does happen. And again, repeats without resolution. You keep going back to that conflict. You don't resolve things. You come back, expand it some more, fight each other some more. It's unhealthy. High blood pressure, hypertension, low blood pressure even, or whatever, sleeplessness, anxiety, depression. These are the things people are calling for when they keep repeating conflict and they're not finding solutions to it. Just because somebody wants to always be right or somebody wants to always have the upper hand. Please, guys, this is not healthy. But like I always say, it's your choice how you choose to handle things. But we're here to educate ourselves. We're here to learn and unlearn and relearn the right way so that we can enjoy the goodness of marriage. This is how God intended. I've talked about unhealthy conflict. I've talked about healthy conflict. Now let's look at the toxic conflict. And I tell you, this kind of toxic one leads mostly to that D word I keep mentioning or not mentioning, to divorce, separation. So like I always say, as I'm giving this talk, let us reflect on our own marriages or our siblings or our friends. Some things we may notice, but we're pondering, is it, could it, how can, sometimes it's there, but because we love this person, we can't just believe the way they're handling things or the way they're behaving. It is what it is sometimes, but let us learn so that we can do the needful. So the toxic conflict includes emotional, verbal, or physical abuse. Like I said, I'm one for none of this, really. None. Some might say, okay, well, it's good, emotional. But emotional, when it gets so long, you find that people fall into depression. And you don't want that for yourself or your siblings or whoever that you know. And the verbal one, my goodness, or the physical abuse. When there's conflict, your go-to is the physical abuse. How is that meant to resolve anything, or how is that meant to be a solution? So a lot of people need to get a hold of their emotions, get a hold of their mouth when they're angry or when they're involved in a conflict, because they're so loose. They no control anymore. They just say anything. They will say, even their spouse's secret that is supposed to be a secret between the two of them, they'll just say it out to abuse their spouse. Oh my goodness, that is toxic. Very toxic. And I don't think that marriage will last if this is your approach to resolving conflicts. So be mindful. Are you the one that will raise your hand? Whether man or woman, you raise your hand at the slightest conflict. Why? Why is that? Why is that your go-to for solution? It's never the right way. Even if your spouse is tolerant, after a while, they will run because it's a toxic environment you're putting them in. Again, it involves manipulation, threats, or fear. You're in a conflict. You're going back and forth. You're disagreeing to agree, to disagree, or whatever. And all of a sudden, you just say, you know what? If you're not doing this, I'm not going to do this. Or if you don't do this, this is the end of this marriage. You threaten your spouse or you create fear in them. If you don't do it, remember that money I said I was going to give you for the car or something. I am not doing it anymore. What has that got to do with that? Are we in that toxic place when it comes to conflict resolution? So, conflicts will arise in a marriage, but are we manipulative? Do we threaten our spouses when they share their own views about the issue? Or do you make them to be afraid just so that you can have the upper hand? That is a very toxic environment, and no spouse should stay in there or should want to stay in there. Again, toxic conflict often requires outside help or separation. Because, sometimes we watch some movies, especially the local village setup. Every day, Mr. and Mrs. Okon, apologies to anybody bearing Okon, every morning like this, when other couples are praying or they are, wishing themselves have a lovely day, their own is quarter, cutlass, stick, every day, fighting each other, every morning. This one is so toxic. If they still want to stay in that marriage, they need help. Serious help. All the toxic, in fact, unhealthy, toxic one, they need professional help as far as I'm concerned. Or they need some sort of intervention, whether from the elders in their family, because if care is not taken, they will come and carry somebody's corpse, and we don't want that. I don't want to lose a sister in a marriage. I don't want to lose a brother in a marriage. To what end? Why? That is not God's intention for marriage. So let's do right by each other, especially by ourselves. Just think about it, what you're about to say. This is one of my own thing, really, and I'm telling us here, what I'm about to say. If my spouse should say it to me, would I hug them and say, oh, I love you some more? If your answer is no, do not say it. Do not, just swallow it. Say it in your mind. Don't let it come out. That's what I would say. Don't let it come out. This thing you're about to say, if it was said to you, would you accept it? Would you love it? Would you applaud them? If you know that you almost, give them a dirty slap or whatever, please do not say it. Be mindful. So let us look at how to handle conflicts constructively, because I'm mindful of the time. I can't mention all of it. I'm going to mention a few. That's where you come in. Admission 66. I see you. Good evening. I hope you are good. Please have share this live to your friends. Let them be part of our talk. We're talking about conflicts in marriage. And we all know that this can lead to separation and divorce if not handled properly. That's why we're talking about it here. So whoever this couple may be listening right now, there's still hope. You can resolve things. Please stay tuned to the end, and you might just speak one or two things if you have not done so already. So let's look at how to handle conflicts constructively. Thank you, Admissions, for the heart to me. Pause and breathe. Remember I said, if you don't want to be told this thing, do not say it. So this is how to handle conflict constructively. And these things are kind of practical. If you just must try to see whether it works or not. Because you might find one works, one probably not. But at least you'll find something that works. So to handle conflict constructively, sometimes when it's happening, you just have to pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. So that anger welling up, you breathe it out of your system. You will not say the unnecessary to your spouse. You will not curse them. You will not, just pause and breathe. You're doing that. It's some sort of mindfulness, but pause and breathe. Take a moment before responding. It is very crucial. Just give your mind 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to quickly think about what you're going to say. Because what you're about to say might destroy your marriage or can build your marriage. You know what you're about to say. If you know it's going to destroy your marriage, when I say pause and breathe, do not talk. Do not even say anything. Anger often feels more damage than the actual issue. And when words are spoken, you can't put them back in your mouth. You can't bring it back out of their ears because they would have heard it. And you can't swallow it. It's just like egg. Once it's broken, it's broken. So be mindful that you're not led by anger to saying that thing when there's a conflict. I know they say easier said than done. Trust me, I've been there many times. I have to remind myself. Of course, sometimes I do talk, and sometimes I would have said, this and I said, maybe I should have said it this way, but it's too late now. Or another opportunity arises, I will now say it right the other way. But there's certain things I've told myself in my life, God helping me thus far and further, not to, what's the word now, insult, like some words, especially when some of us, when you get angry, you start speaking your local dialect. Not only you speak English with your spouse, when you're angry, you now speak your local dialect, and you know what is going to come out of you. So I just stick to my English, like that, so that I will not go out of the, So anger often feels more damage than the actual issue. So be mindful, especially when you're still dealing with that anger. You can walk away, because that might just be a saving grace, rather for you to say that thing and it would destroy that marriage. King Life, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Again, listen to understand. This one, a lot of us are guilty. We just want to listen so that we can give them back. I usually have a point. But do we actually listen to understand what they are saying when there's conflict? Are you listening? Listening attentively, actively, to really understand so that you don't add more to that conflict. Don't listen just to reply. I will always say this. Do not listen just to want to reply, but listen to understand what your spouse is coming to say where they're coming from. Because, I mean, no, I don't think everybody likes trouble. I want to say wahala. You know, for no reason would your spouse just be saying stuff. Even if you think it's for no reason, hear and understand for what no reason they are actually saying that. Because it's very important to understand one another. Sometimes we're not in the same page or on the same page. Your spouse is going through something, and to you all is hunky-dory, beautiful, amazing. And then they just come, they can't take it anymore, and they just voice out certain things. And then bam, you spark. What do you mean? We've been okay. Everything is okay. I thought we were good. I thought, but that's your thought. But this is what they're feeling. This is what they're experiencing. And the only way you would understand is if you listen. Actively listen. Listen to understand and not just to reply. Because that's where conflicts upon conflicts upon conflicts keep arising. And then we let it lead to separation. We let it lead to divorce. We need to be mindful. And this is very, very important, very crucial in a marriage. The third thing I'll say is use I statement. I keep saying this here. And my prayer is that, we would hear. Because sometimes I'm guilty of that. And the more I say these things out loud, it's like me reminding myself as well when there's a conflict. Use I statements such as, instead of saying this, but say something like, I feel hurt when you did this or when this happened. I feel hurt the other day. I was trying to make my point. You just kept shutting me down, Rather than say, you never ever listen to me. You always never. Hearing that alone will aggravate more conflict, will aggravate anger in your spouse. And that obviously is not your intention. So we'll really have to be attentive, conscious, intentional about, using such statements. I feel hurt when you say this. I mean, when you say you feel hurt, your spouse really cares for you. They don't want you to feel hurt because of what they said or how they treated you, which they might not even know. So don't you say, never, you never do this, you never. No, I know you're angry, you're upset, you want to be heard and all of that. I feel hurt because of this. It sounds way better, than you never. Sometimes we're guilty of that. God helping us. Again, stay on one issue. We're talking about how to handle conflicts constructively. Stay on one issue, okay? It's very important. Don't bring up past fights or unrelated complaints. Focus on the issue at hand, the current issue at hand. You're still talking about this, you're not finding a headway, you're still disagreeing. Say, that was the time you've done this, that was the other time. You now say, okay, what has that got to do with what is on ground? You just want to expand that conflict. It's like you don't want that conflict to end or to find a solution, because those things you're mentioning is not solution, obviously. So it's going to aggravate conflict some more. So be mindful. Stay on one. If it is nose you're talking about now, finish talking about the nose. Find solution for the nose. Let the nose be sorted. Then you can bring another issue another time. Curb your anger, period. Thank you, Admission 66. Curb your anger, because anger lies in the bosom of fools. That thing, when I don't even know whether it was Zadidi or preached that, anger lies in the bosom of fools. So if you're the one anger all the time, that means you're a fool. Me, I do not want to be referred to as a fool. So I best control my anger. Honestly, this thing sounds small, but it's big because it's affecting marriages. Anyway, God will help us. Stay on one issue at a time, please. Deal with one before you bring another one. Otherwise, you're just compounding things some more. Again, be willing to forgive. Tame it by grace. Amen. By grace, God can help you. God helped me to deal with my anger when I was a teenager. And I tell you, it took almost 3 years before I could look back to say, oh my God, for me, all those things that will make you feel so angry, in fact, you're just bypassing. In fact, somebody asked me a question, do you ever get angry? That was when I knew, hey, my deliverance had come. Because I was, oh my God. That's why I say, look, I keep it real. Don't think this person talking. That's why I say I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to help us, help me even. Because the more I say this, the more it sinks in my spirit. And when issues arise, I'll remember my own words and get wisdom. Do you get me? Be willing to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, because you remember certain things, but you're forgiven in your heart, you've forgiven them. But it just simply means choosing peace over punishment. Yeah, sometimes you feel like punishing your spouse for what they did or what they didn't do. But is that really worth it? Would you not want peace in your home? I would choose peace any day over punishment, because to err is human, to forgive is divine, as they say. Have slow nets, or is me. Is it me? I'm not freezing here, I'm here. Oh, my eyes, they seem a bit red. See, tiredness, but I just have to be here. That's why I say, hopefully we'll finish on time today. Otherwise, I should have just gone to lie down somewhere. It's been a long week, not just days. It's been a long week. And the weather, sometimes just makes you feel like that. But it's all good. Yes, you're welcome if you're just joining me here on Insight with FunmiRoyal. A13, I hear you, but I don't know. Admissions. Am I freezing, or is it slow, or what is it? Ugo Simba, I see you. It's been a long time. Admissions, you can help me right there. Do you think my network is freezing or something? I might have to check, because sometimes. Okay, I'll still carry on. A13, I don't know, maybe if you log back out and come back in, I don't know, but it seems okay at my end. So guys, once again, you're welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal. Frozen at times. What could that be? I don't know. I'm on the right Wi-Fi and it's not raining. Weather is okay, but we'll try. Okay, thank you for that. A13, it's me. How do you say me in Spanish? Anyway, I'm sure he understands. Thank you. So where am I? We're talking about how to handle conflict constructively. I've mentioned pause and breathe, listen to understand, use the I statements instead of you never do this. Use I feel hurt when you. That sounds more subtle and they can actually listen to you. Stay on one issue at a time. Don't bring everything from 1920, everything today we must talk about it. Please be mindful. Again, be willing to forgive your spouse. This is your spouse. They will hurt you, you will hurt them. And that's why, even Jesus said you should forgive 70 times, 7 times in a day. That means if your spouse offends you 490 times a day, you must forgive them. And I know your spouse will never ever offend you that much. How about when they're not the devil themselves? So, but I know things happen, but all the same, we have to be willing to forgive. I know you might say certain things you can't forgive. That is more broad. Your internet is lagging. Oh, wow. And I don't want to log off and log back. I don't know if that would help. I'm on the right Wi-Fi connection. Let me see. Yeah. Because for me, I have two extensions. Two Wi-Fi connection. The extension and the normal one. I always like to stay on the normal one because that's the strongest one. IG's World, I see you. Okay, it's okay now, but I can see me moving. I don't know what's happening. Do you reckon I should log back out and log back in? I don't want to lose you lot at this point because this internet sometimes can get on you. What do you reckon? TikTok has not said anything. Okay, I'm going to carry on, and if not, I might have to log out and come back in. Continuously, what do you mean, admissions? Is continuously lagging, or... Let me understand you before I decide to... Admissions, are you there? Are you referring to the network now? I should carry on. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'll soon be rounding up anyways, but it's just so that we have an understanding, because sometimes you're talking in proverbs and some people are not understanding. Okay, thank you, admissions. They're not understanding, so sometimes you have to break it down. That's why when I put those points and Holy Spirit just help me give the right examples so that people can actually understand. Like I say to people, I'm here on an assignment. This is what burden God has placed on my own heart, especially for marriages. And God gives me this picture that I see. Even me, I'm in a marriage, and I see, when I look back to the 26 years, I just laugh sometimes. I'm like, Holy Spirit, why did you tell me this when I was 10 years in my marriage and all of that? But as you grow, you learn. As you grow, especially in faith, the Holy Spirit, you hear him some more, and he gives you some nuggets that it saves you. All those years, not that he wasn't giving, but I wasn't hearing him that much, but thank God, as we grow older, we learn better to do things better. So, dare I come and sit here to be talking about let's make our marriage work, because God has showed me a picture, and it just hurts me when I see couples who can actually help themselves enjoy that marriage, but the devil has so ties or whatever they call it in their midst, and they're not hearing each other, they're not understanding each other, and devil is using them to fight each other. It's such a pain. Honestly, I don't know how to describe it. And that's why I'm like, okay guys, let's sit down, let's talk about this, because God's intention for our marriages is that we enjoy each other's company and not allow devil to come and sow tears in our marriages. I pray that God will open our eyes to see how God sees how marriage should be. Social media sometimes may not help, and I'm like, everybody's using social media to bastardize marriage. Okay, give me this work, I will do it. Let me come on social media and talk about how you really want us to live in our marriages, mine inclusive. So don't think I'm here to judge anyone. I'm not, guys, other than we can learn from one another and do better. So again, seek solutions together. You're not each other's enemies. You're a team. We need to understand this, because when conflict comes, it's like this versus that. Husband versus wife. That's what the devil paints in our mind. And everybody wants to win. I don't want to lose. Life will end. I didn't get that message. Life will end in 5 minutes. We hear the Holy Spirit more as we sprint along. Yes. So guys, as you're listening, I don't know, I didn't catch that message from TikTok, but if it goes off, definitely I'm gonna come back, except they don't allow me to come back for whatever reason. I honestly don't know what's happening today. Maybe because it's the topic, because conflicts in marriage. But like I say, let's talk about these things and not suffer needlessly. So I'll carry on. If I go off, I'm going to come back live. So please do not go to sleep yet. Okay, thank you. So let me just rush through this. You're not each other's enemies. Like I said, you're a team. Work together to find a solution you both can live with. You have to compromise with one another. You have to understand. You have to be tolerant with one another. You might have to bring your 50 and I bring my 50 to make it 100. Because sometimes when you bring 100 and they bring 100, it's like we're not finding a solution, so to say. So sometimes you might have to meet halfway just to quench that conflict so that you can still live together in harmony. The Bible says in Ephesians 4:26, because I'm going to go there, in your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. This one is an advice. People read it from time to time. But my prayer is that we have an understanding. My prayer is that I personally have a deep understanding of this. Because sometimes you and I know we let that anger linger on for days and days until we feel we're okay before we not talk. The day has gone. They said, do not let the sun go down. This sun has gone down 7 times over. And we're so struggling with it. But God will help us. We're not perfect. We're work in progress by the grace of God. So again, when to seek help. You need to know when to seek help. There's strength in knowing when you can fix it, when you can't fix it. There's strength in knowing when you can't fix things alone as well. Counseling, spiritual guidance, or support groups can make a big difference. And again, you need to carefully select your counselor, your spiritual guide, or whatever support group you choose to go to. Because these days, we talk about confidentiality and things like that. You just wonder that nothing is confidential anymore. You say this here, before you know it's all over the place, and you don't want that. That will bring about more conflict in your marriage if care is not taken. So know that you can seek guidance, spiritual guidance, counseling, and like I said, group support groups can make a big difference, especially if arguments are frequent and unresolved. It's going on and on. You leave it, come back to a 6-month time, you're still at that thing. Know that you need external guidance, external help. Again, when communication is breaking down, not as broken down. Before it gets so broken, now it's breaking gradually. You're seeing it breaking. Seek help before it's actually broken. Because sometimes when it's broken, that's when they're like, Tom and Jerry with one another, and they're thinking the only way out is just to go your separate ways. So before it gets there, please seek help. Again, trust has been damaged. When trust has been damaged, especially over and over again, in order to repair that marriage, you need to seek guidance or spiritual guidance. You need to speak to a counselor to help, or a mediator, or an elder, so someone you trust and you can rely on. Because when trust is broken, really, do you still have a marriage? It would affect every area of that marriage institution. Again, abuse of any kind, if it's present. When I say of any kind, verbal, physical, emotional, psychological, economical, financial, all the else you can think of, if it's there, you need to seek a professional help. Excuse me. Otherwise, you keep pointing it out. Your spouse may not even see that they're abusive, because they say, I've never laid my hand on you, never. But the words you say, oh my God, the emotional manipulation and things like that is out of this world. That is abuse. So in case you don't know, now you know. Getting help isn't a sign of failure. I always say that here. It is a step toward healing, because you want to heal from whatever that conflict has cost the two of you or you. So you have to know that it is not a weakness, but it's for you to, find help for your marriage to heal, so that you can enjoy the marriage as you ought to. Again, conflicts can lead to growth. So this is the positive side. Remember, we talked about healthy conflict as well. So conflicts can lead to growth. Oh my God, my mouth's so dry. Whether we believe it or not, conflict, when handled right, can strengthen a marriage. It can deepen your understanding for one another, because you had that conflict and it opened your eyes to seeing your spouse in another light, and you could actually understand. You've grown emotionally with them because you've chosen to understand where they're coming from. So it can actually deepen the strength you have in that marriage for one another. And of course, it can reveal areas of personal growth where you might need to grow a bit, or the words you say can be murdering. Oh, tell me about it. It's worse than using the, I don't want to say the thing here before they will flash me again. Some people, their mouth can pie, as my people will say, their mouth can damage. And then when they even come back to say sorry, it's like that mouth, you can't even believe or trust anything coming out from there, so to say. So it can strengthen your marriage. Like I said, conflicts can. It reveals areas of personal growth, maybe where you need to grow or where you have grown actually as a result of handling conflict well. Again, it teaches patience, humility, and compromise. I've said that in so many words today. You compromise not because you fully agree, but for peace to reign. Meet each other halfway. That is what conflicts can do. It can help you to compromise, situations. Can bring humility your way. You're the one that you think you know. Okay, you'll have your way. And then boom, the thing fails. You'll be humble by force. Next time you know to be patient. Next time you know to compromise. Next time you know to meet them halfway. Next time you know to actively listen and understand. And again, conflicts can help build trust when resolution is achieved. Because there's a conflict, trust has been broken and all of that. And in the process, you try to manage things, you try to understand, forgive and all of that. And you just find out that, wow, there's a solution after all. And you find out that, oh, I can actually trust my spouse again. And this can it can actually happen. My Bible says in Proverbs 27:17, I'm gonna go there today, as always. It says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Look, this thing is not, I'm not gender biased here. Husbands can learn from their wives. Wives can learn from their husbands. And guess what? Parents can even learn from their children. Okay, so what then? Be mindful. Your choice of words. Be mindful before you break that trust. Be mindful before you manage that conflict. Make sure that you're thinking of one another in resolving that conflict. Some people's words are ballistic missiles. They are boom shaka bombshell. I know, it's not funny. In fairness, it's not. Some will say, rather just finish me than to say those words, because they're so, I don't know where the words is even coming from someone you say you love. So where is it coming from? The depth of your love for that person, when you say words that can make them go and want to jump off a bridge or something, sorry to say that, but you get what I mean. God help us. So I'm just about rounding up now. So let's look at a faith perspective, which is where my solid foundation is, guys. I cannot deny that. For those who draw from spiritual values, know that praying together helps. Prayer invites peace and perspective. You can ask the Holy Spirit to open both your eyes, your spiritual ears, to hear way out of this conflict rather than fighting each other or disagreeing and all of that. Again, from a faith perspective, stay humble. Pride kills reconciliation, because they want to reconcile. You're feeling proud. No, this is you must have your way. Yeah. Pride will kill that reconciliation effort. So humility will open the door. So be humble. If you're not be humble with your spouse, who else would you want to be humble? Is it God that you have not seen? I'm a bit tired, but I would carry on, because hopefully we'll finish in good time today. Pride kills resolution. Pride kills reconciliation. So do away with pride. It doesn't help anyone, not even you that is proudful. Humility, however, will open the door to resolutions, so that conflict will be a thing of the past. Again, invite God into your marriage. Look, whether you believe God, you don't believe God, all I know is God instituted marriage. And pagans, atheists, other religions, they're taking part in this so-called marriage. So if you deny God, the author and the creator of marriage institution, you're just denying yourself the goodness of marriage. So invite God into your marriage. He is the ultimate counselor and healer. He's the one. I've counted on him so many times. If I begin to tell you the things Holy Spirit opened my eyes to see, even in the same word I've been reading for years and years, wisdom came and I was able to handle things better. Sometimes I just feel, I hope I'm not even too calm. I hope I'm not too cool. I should show my husband sometime. Me too, I can be scone, as my people would say. But then, what am I going to benefit from that, really? I love peace, so I love peace of mind. Again, Bible says in Colossians 3:13, it says, bear with one another and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance, forgive as the Lord forgave you. I want to go to God and pray. Even if it's 5 minutes, I want to believe God is hearing me, because I don't want to harbor anything. And when I do, I'm always scared to pray, because I know I've not really let go, so to say. I'm not going to fool myself and say I'm going to pray. The Lord will just be looking at you like this. Have you forgiven? So why would I want to deny myself my prayers, so to say? So it's hard, it's painful, but at some point you will have to let go and forgive your spouse, because guess what? They're still coming to offend you tomorrow. Hey, get over it. The earlier the better for you. So I'm concluding now by saying, if you have not heard anything I've said so far, but please hear this: conflict in marriage is not the end of love. Remember where I started from. It can actually be the beginning of deeper intimacy, better understanding, and renewed connection between you and your spouse. The goal is not to avoid conflict, so don't get me wrong in all I've said, but to transform it into a tool for growth. We will grow when we handle conflicts well. We will grow and know that the next conflict we're facing, we're going to handle it differently rather than bark at each other or abuse each other or this is. No, we've learned not to do that. So we're going to learn what we've learned not to do. When we have another conflict, we'll make sure we don't do that. We don't use words. We don't use what and all of those things, on unhealthy ways of handling conflict. We're not going to use that. God helping us. Yes, and also I want us to stop seeing conflict as a threat, okay? And start seeing it as an opportunity to learn, opportunity to listen, an opportunity to love better, opportunity to compromise, opportunity to be sacrificial, opportunity to be tolerant, opportunity to be understanding, opportunity to be all of the goodness you can think of in a marriage. And I pray that the Lord will continue to help us. Opportunity to love better by the grace of God. We will hurt one another. We will not see eye to eye on everything every time. Is not possible. It's not possible. That's why I said no matter how long you've been married, think about it. You've had one or two conflicts here and there. So that is the end of my talk. And I'm asking us these two questions tonight to kick off, in case you didn't hear all of my talk. First question is, do you believe conflict is always a bad thing in a relationship? And secondly, what role does family upbringing play in how to handle marital conflict? Do you believe conflict is always a bad thing in a relationship, in a marriage relationship? And what role do you think family upbringing play in how to handle marital conflict? Thank you guys so much. There's something sweet about occasional conflict. Of course, now, when it's handled healthily. Thank you guys for listening.
Understanding and love, hope inside.
Hello, Leslie. I see you. Good evening. Thank you, A13. Hey, okay, I want us to try today. Let me see if we can finish actually by 10 o'clock, because I want to believe I've done a bit of justice to this topic. So getting married to the wrong person is draining. When is it getting married to the wrong person? I tend to kind of query that kind of statement, because both of you willingly said I do. So you did marry them under the pretense that they're wrong for you, and you still marry them anyways. So admissions, you have to come up and explain, because we can go. This is another topic really, but since we're here and it's been mentioned, we're gonna try to tackle it. Send an invite, guys. Let's talk about this some more, because there's so many aspects of this conflict. Like I say, I can't cover all of it. Even if I spend 10 hours talking about it, I can only cover as much as I could or can. And this is where you lot come in. We expand it some more, share experiences some more, share ideas some more, because nobody has a solution. No one person ever has a solution. When we rub minds together, we'll look for the best way out. You know how your family dynamics is, your marriage dynamics is, what you need, pick it from here. The one you don't need, just leave it for other people, and just make sure that in as much as it lies with you, you're trying your best in your marriage to make sure that everybody's happy, and feel loved and feel heard as well. So thank you, Leslie Onoye. Oh, wow, it's been a long time. Admissions, thank you, A13. So admission, I'm going to have to start with you, just based on that statement you wrote.
Don't start with me for this week. Let somebody
Sorry,
else.
not even you. Is Venjivet, or what? How can you pronounce his name? Venjivet. Benjamin, you have to come up. I thought it was you. I thought it was you admissions. That was why I said maybe I'll start with you.
I'll bail the cat all the time. Let somebody else.
No, it's the it's the first person in my box, and it's Leslie today. But because I thought you mentioned,
Admission, why are you running? Why are you running admission?
Let your Oga handle it.
you know, Leslie is ready anytime, any day. That's one thing I love about him. Even when he's chopping his carrot, he will still be talking. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the box. I've been talking about conflicts in marriage, how to handle it, healthy conflict, unhealthy conflict, toxic conflicts, and all of those kind of conflicts. And again, how to, handle them constructively so that we can still enjoy our marriage relationship. Leslie, I'm going to come to you then. Onoye, admissions, and then, how do you pronounce your name, my dear?
Hello, everybody. I'm streaming from the UK. Velnjivet.
Veljivet. I'm
Yes.
also from the UK, so it's good we're on board together.
No.
Thank you for joining. Okay,
You're
maybe I'll put you on the spot based
Yeah.
on your last statement there. Let me go back to this. You say getting married to the wrong person is draining. What do you mean wrong person?
It's actually funny because I just logged on to TikTok. I just logged on, then I saw that you're about to log off, then I just posted it. When I say it's draining, is because I'm just from a 20 years marriage, divorce.
Oh, divorce.
Yes. After 20 years of marriage.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. When I say draining and when I say getting married to the wrong person is because I felt I was married to the wrong person in the sense that I was very naive when I got married and it was due to circumstance that I got married. Yes. And I know that from the very beginning, I knew that something was not right. But unfortunately, I was trapped in this situation.
How, if I may ask?
Sorry?
How were you trapped? Were
When
you
I say
forced
trapped-
to marry this
Well,
person?
when I say trapped, is because I got married when I was 23.
I did too.
Because I got pregnant.
Okay.
That was the
But
situation.
did you not love them?
Well, you see,
Or was
it's
it
funny because
infatuation?
I just moved to the UK, so of course there were a lot of things that I was not aware of, and he was already established here. And so, when you come somewhere for the, very new, you're not really used to the system.
Yeah.
And when you get in this situation, it's like, what happens? What do I do? But the thing is that my dad was very supportive and he asked me, are you getting to marriage because you love this person or because of the situation? But at the time, I thought that, yes, there was the genuine love. But of course, because I was trapped in this, and it really showed because over the years, it was draining because we are not in alignment with a lot of things. It was just our upbringing was so different. And we did not share the same values. Because I grew up from a Christian background, my parents were all, we sang in church. My dad was a lay preacher and my mom was. So the value of, that we did not really share the same values. And I realized that when I was trying to get my children to go to church, we tried to go to church, but he was really stopping it. So what I say the wrong person is because for me, I felt I was trapped because I remember that the way we got married is like, I don't want, marriage is good because I don't want a situation where if we're not married, then when they ask my daughter who the dad is and she doesn't know who the dad is. So that's what he used to get us to get married. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was in a vulnerable position. And I say that trap because I know who he is. He uses my vulnerability to trap me in a lot of things.
Can I ask, did you seek counseling or was it not an option?
You mean before or when? What?
Well, before obviously didn't happen, whilst in the marriage.
Unfortunately, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't because I think I had because I just moved to the UK and I was very naive. I hadn't even dated. So dating is something that I was not really used to. Do you know what I mean? I was so preserved, like a church girl. Then of course this happened. But then because I was naive and he had been here for a very long time, he had a good job. So there was an element of control, an element of control. So it's like, because he was already established, I just unfortunately allow him to just do everything. And so I had nothing in my power to change things, you see. But then, of course, he's the one who even applied for divorce after 20 years of marriage, because I think him himself felt that it was not, it wasn't working, because of our differences. And you see, this issue of, when they say get married to somebody who is God fearing, it's a plus. Trust me.
Who's got what?
When they say getting married to somebody who is God fearing,
God-fearing.
it's very, very important. It's very important, because there are certain values that holds the marriage together. But if that is lacking, because people will wonder, after 20 years, how to get divorced? It's because we did not share the same values. You see. So when I say it's draining, it was really, really draining. Marriage was draining.
I haven't been in your shoes, my dear. And I mean, for the sake of others who are listening here, I'm a Christian counselor, couples, single, whichever one, an integrative counselor as well. And I try to open things as wide as possible. Like you said something there, which is key for me. You were naive. Because what you know now, if you knew then, you probably wouldn't have married this person.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's for definitely,
Yes. Yes.
However, like I said, the picture God shows me of his way of we being in a marriage. And sometimes I got a bit confused years back. And then when I had a very close friend of mine who happens to be Indian, said, "Oh, Fumi, guess what? I'm going to my country to get married." I said, "Oh, so you've been keeping this girl?" He said, "No, I've never met her before. I don't know anything about her. In fact, on the day of the wedding is when I'm going to meet her." Guess what? They're still together. They've got 3 children now, and they're still together. But these people don't even know nothing about themselves. So that means there was something they had to work on
Of
to
course.
keep the marriage. But it
Yes.
takes two.
Tango.
It takes two.
Yes.
Because even if you had opportunities, okay, let's seek counseling. What if they said no? Or what if they even said yes? That was why I said, did you try counseling? Because in counseling, it brings both of you bare. You see each other for who you are. And it's either you want to make it work or you feel, because the guarantee of going to another relationship, excuse me, without having the proper knowledge, without having the right wisdom and all of that, some things might still repeat itself.
Yeah, you see, I tried during the course of the marriage. I really tried to make things work, because at the end of the day, as Africans, we believe that for better or for worse. I mean, there are certain situations that you don't even want to be, like when it's abuse. You see, there's a lot of emotional abuse in it, but I still decided to try to make it work. So it was, and the thing is that it was either his way or no way. So that was the problem there.
Is the controlling bit?
Yes. And he could never find anything wrong with him. And when we will have like little misunderstandings, the way he would twist things, I will end up be the blame. So that is how it was throughout the marriage. So of course I gave in, and I had to take the blame for everything. So in fact, we actually went in for a marriage counseling because he's the one who requested for that. And he requested it for that. That was, I think it was just a way to make his family know that he had tried before he applied for a divorce, because we went through marriage counseling and he applied for a divorce a few months after. I was the one who
sorry to cut you, if I may ask, the counseling, was it not helping?
It wasn't helping, because I was the one who actually stopped the counseling. I went for mediation because it was all about him. I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, I do this. Do you know what I mean?
And what was the counselor's response to this? I wish I was in that room.
Yes, unfortunately, the counselor was she's this lady from the United States, and I could see that there was just nothing. It's like all he was just doing ranting and ranting, and she just sat there and she would say nothing. And I'm thinking, what is this for? So she said absolutely nothing. It's like, because of course he's the one who paid for the counseling. And so for him, it was always his way or no way. So I had to stop it and say, no, this is not gonna, it's not taking us anywhere.
You should have come to Lighthouse Counseling Services.
Well, we're talking about, this is 5 years ago. It happened.
Oh,
It
dear.
happened 5 years ago, and it took us 5 years to get through a divorce. 5 good years. So when I say draining, it's draining because you see, after a divorce, you read a lot of books. That's when you really start opening your mind, what went wrong. And the thing I noticed from the very beginning of the relationship, was this issue of control. It was very, very controlling. So, but unfortunately, because I felt trapped. I would say trapped because under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have gotten married to him if I was not. I mean, that's how I know now. Now that I'm through my healing process, I wouldn't have. So yeah, it was really draining because I just felt that I was to be blamed for everything. And even my children think that it's like that is always right because he has made them know that he's always right. He has no fault in him. And of course, because he had a good job and, he paid the bills. And there's one thing about men, they think that when they pay bills, that's all that it takes in a marriage. Of course, he paid the bills. I worked night shift for 16 years to raise 3 children. For 16 years, I worked night shift. And I raised 3 children working night shift. And on top of that, I have 4 degrees to a night shift. Of course, he paid bills. So it wasn't, thank you. So it was a situation that I really, really worked hard to make sure that it worked, but unfortunately, he decided to terminate the relationship because he found someone else. So be it.
Well, my dear, as they say, out of my marriage is not out of life or out of this world. I pray that, any remnant of hurt that is still left there, the Lord will heal completely.
Amen. He will.
So that's my prayer. And thank you so much for sharing your experience. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you the question. Do you believe conflict is always a bad thing in a relationship?
You mean for me?
Yeah, for you.
Not really, because when you have conflicts, for me, I actually think that sometimes some of these conflicts are meant to happen because it actually shows who you really are, how you deal with conflict. Because sometimes conflict is a good thing. Because when this issue of my marriage, happened, it actually helped me to understand a lot of things about me per se, not about the other person. So it helped me to understand who I am. How do I deal with situations? How do I deal with conflicts, right? And also, sometimes the way we were being raised, because I remember when we were growing up, my dad...
contributing factor.
Yes.
Which is my second question, really. Quickly, let me put that out. What role does family upbringing play in how to handle marital conflict? Yeah.
Yeah. So, my dad was an international lecturer, and the one thing that he always advised us is do not just sit there and just do nothing. When there's something that is not right, speak up, speak up. He always said, talk. And I think because I was one of the talkative, I always wanted to know things, why? And he was not like that. And that's why we ended up where we are today, because he did not really wanted to sit down to talk about things. Because even when he applied for a divorce, I said, we have to talk about it. He says, no, it's nothing to do with me. It's about you. And I'm thinking, it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
He applied for the divorce and I had no say in it. I just had to accept.
Wow.
So it was really draining. And that's why it says getting married to the wrong person was really draining. And I think I'm in a much happier place because I know who I am right now. And I think I know how to manage conflicts better than before. So, yes, I think family...
All of those years would have brought some level of experience and growth.
Absolutely. But family, I would just say that from a divorcee's point of view, your family upbringing, that foundation, is very, very important. We shouldn't, unless you have gone through a situation, then you start understanding why that family foundation is very important. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, what a way to kickstart this.
Yeah, what a way to start. I was just thinking,
So yeah, think out loud because we want to hear you now. Maybe I should not even go according to how we how we are in the box. So admissions, I'm going to come to you.
No,
I'm
no,
going to come.
I like when we said something about conflict when we said conflict is not on in itself a very bad thing. That somewhere along the line, yeah, you find out that even sometimes the conflict it gets sweeter sometimes
Oh,
if it is
so
well
you're
managed,
looking
like you
for
said.
conflict with my sister now,
Yeah,
please.
it gets even if it's well managed, like you said. Do you know you can engineer conflict just to test the state of things? I just left that on the platform now.
Ah, well, I'll tread carefully. I will tread
Yeah,
carefully.
I experimented one with it and find out that the other end is as steady as I was, and so at the end of the day, we just laughed about it.
Oh
We just,
wow, that's good.
I do it. You can laze it with some sort of tease her, make her feel, and before you know it,
Like
it
those
renews.
content creator, they prank their spouses.
Yeah, it generates some sort of lovely feelings and all that. Yeah, you can't buy that anywhere. So that's the angle I'm looking at it from a very positive end and all that.
Yeah, that was where I ended my talk as well. Conflict.
Yeah, I saw it, and it was like our thoughts was kind of
Yeah.
matching each other and all that. Let's leave all that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's well with our sister. We pray for her. She will be restored. She will be
Amen.
restored. She's looking at it even from the God side. That's the side that I think most of us are. He ordained marriage.
Yeah.
Here we are, something happened beyond our control. And it happened. But the Lord will restore her again. In Jesus' name. You will smile. You will look back and say, well.
And
And even all those children, they will come to know the truth and all that led to all that happened.
The truth
They
will
will
always come
they will
out.
not hate you. They will not.
That was it, you know the
Yeah.
truth.
Look at how much you even achieved despite all that was happening. I can't believe 16 years night shifts. Very hard one to do because when you come back home, you see the
I
whole
did
of
7 years. I knew where you left me.
and I know how much my wife did too.
My
She did
God.
almost 16 years of something like that, about 16 too. Yeah.
How soon
So
that we
we
can
commend
meet?
you. We are not
Yes,
necessarily hacking onto one
indeed.
side of the story, but we want to look at it from what has been presented, and the Lord will handle it for you in Jesus'
Amen.
mighty name.
Amen.
There was one thing I shouldn't lose in this. You know, how you once talked about anger. And I was going to say we should tame our anger, please. Try and control it. Somewhere along the line, you're hurting yourself,
Yeah.
both medically, clinically, and psychologically. You get angry, and somewhere along the line,
And you produce some
I've
hormones
seen
that
some
your
hormones
body,
that don't work
it
well
won't
for
help
you.
your body.
So
Yeah.
why don't you just check it? As soon as you see that the feelings are getting too bad, you even said something, say keep quiet or walk away. Not rudely, there's a way you can walk away. Yeah, just. And when the person come again, you are, please, I just do. And there's a way the whole thing navigate it very well. And before you know, you end up laughing. And you might even succeed in getting escape with a kiss or something. Yeah.
I know. Thank you so much. Admissions. Some conflicts will come to strengthen that marriage. Thank you.
There was this I'll quickly add. I know others too, and maybe we're not staying long today.
Yeah,
Find out that most of the time when you are angry, you're acting almost like a demon. The enemy is always around us, whether we accept it or not. The moment you get
for a
angry,
vessel
those
to
are some
possess.
of his own tools. So
Yeah.
you will lash on it,
God, I see you.
get you to be even more angered by whatever the event was, and you start saying things you shouldn't say. And I can tell you now, in the process, you hurt the people you love, the people you claim to love, that you say you provide for them, you buy for them. Then here you are looking like a demon. Look into their eyes whenever you get really, really angry and you're hurting the same people you say you love. You're not looking the same person anymore.
Yeah.
So just check it. We all know when it's coming. You can see it brewing up in within you. Check it. Walk away from it. Say some things. We all have different ways of approaching it. I would rather walk away, keep quiet, and just listen and see. The next word I will say will be something very, very bringing things down. Something that will bring things down. I've seen it happen in our marriage over and over. The next word I say, we might, I don't even know how to get angry with you. When I felt I was going to fire you, and here you are again.
Smiling.
Yeah. And all this to the grace of God. we should not pride ourselves over it.
Yeah.
So go back to him when anything is wrong. Go back to him on your knees. Pray and ask him, Daddy, you have ordained this institution and you don't want us to come out of it. Please help me. And he does always help.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah, it is well with all of us. In Jesus'
Amen.
mighty name. Let me just stay out for
Thank
now.
you so much. I've shared here many times that sometimes when I'm now calm and I'll go to the Holy Spirit, I brought your son to you. Like, God, this is your son. What? I bet he's probably listening up there. And the Holy Spirit will tell me certain things to do. And I'll be telling Holy Spirit, this is cheating. Why cheating? Can't you tell him to do that? At the end of the day, I know it's me that will still come out and do it because it's me that he has told to do certain things. And most times, really, honestly speaking, when I do, it will seem like magic. That's how I can explain it to the ordinary people. So it will seem like, I say, if I'd known, I would have listened. Since I was arguing with the Holy Spirit, I would have done this thing ages ago, So for me, so many things I learned, not from mentors or not from, it's the Holy Spirit. And that's why I can verbatim, I can say, this is my experience because I know it worked for me. You try it. That's all I would say. You just try it and see. And this thing is not automatic. It took years. Because he's always been talking me, hey, I must have my way, or this and that and that. I will not listen. Not that he wasn't speaking, but until I humbled myself and say, Holy Spirit, look, I'm out of ideas. Right now, in fact, I don't know what else to do. Help me. Give me idea. Give me wisdom. What do I need to do? It's like, tell me what to do and I will do it because this is not, it's not getting funny anymore. And then when he says, I said that, in fact, sometimes he will say some things, it will seem so silly. And why didn't I think of that? But then I was thinking in my own ways. And many times over and over like that, and all the experiences I can share with you, that I can boldly share, I tell you, is nothing but the Holy Spirit. Of course, I hear sermons here and there and all of that it gives me, but the real deal, I tell you, is the Holy Spirit. We need to learn to hear him because he's always speaking. May we not just feel our way is the way, that's my way or the highway thing. God will help us. I'll leave it there. So I'm going to come to Onoye. Let me hear you. It's been a long while. How have you been, bros? Onoye, I hope you're there. You unmuted before. Please, let's hear you. Okay, let me see.
Let's go to Leslie.
Yeah, I will in a second because he unmuted before to speak. I don't know what's happened. Onoye, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You have to unmute. I'm here, but I'm busy. Okay, you're here, you're busy. Okay, all right. So you can type 1 second. All right. Okay, let me come to Leslie. Oh, God, Leslie, good evening. How are you? I'm sure you're good. Well done. Good to have you again. I hope you can speak as well. Don't tell me you're in the kitchen now. Leslie, good evening.
Sorry, I'm not in the kitchen, but I'm also with my second son. I'm not in the kitchen today.
I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's in the kitchen now before we know where we head to.
No, I've been hearing it. It's been funny because I actually tried to get on earlier, but TikTok has been a bit funny. I was struggling to get in. It kept making things repeat over and over again, and I did that a few times. But yeah, I've been enjoying the topic. Well, one of the first things I would say is conflict. If you're going to, I think there's no such thing as a conflict. If people aim to live a conflict-free life, what they are aiming for is that they are looking for a flawless life in an imperfect world, and at some point you are going to meet serious conflict. If you don't learn it early, you will learn it hard. So, and those who seek for a conflict-free life, they're the ones who end up compromising themselves. And the irony about it is that they will still lose their soul in the process. So it actually doesn't make any sense. If you look at even Jesus, and I'm going to tie this into marriage, when he was, one of the temptations was that
I didn't want to talk.
you should try and that he was going to be given all the kings of the world. Only he needs to bow down his knee. All he needs to was just bow down to Satan. And I think people, if you feel that you can get good or great things in this life without any form of challenge or conflict or difficulty, you're going to set up yourself for a lot of pain and failure ultimately. So in marriage, if you're going to have a good marriage, it's not going to be by conflict. It's not going to be conflict free. Anything you're going to build that's going to be worthwhile is going to involve a level of hardship, some difficulty, and you're going to also you're going to put yourself through some level of learning, getting some new information. They're going to do some,
There will be resistance.
there's going to be effort one way or the other. You cannot, if you're going to have a good marriage, you're not going to have a good marriage effort free. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. An effort free, a marriage free of any form of challenge or it doesn't exist, because you're dealing with two people with two different perspectives. And for them to become one, it's going to come through some sort of forging. It's going to come through. That is if they are intending to become one. Now, if you want to, in a marriage, people can be single and be married, but they are single. They have
Married
two
but
different
single.
visions. Yeah, they have two different visions. Everybody has their own idea of what they think they want. So there's no coming together of that sense. But if you're going to have a good marriage where the two of you are going to work together, you're going to be a partnership, then you're going to do something. There's going to be a level of you've got to work things through. And to be transparent in marriage, like when both of you are transparent, especially where finances are concerned, your emotions are concerned, it's going to take some level of work. It's going to take some level of, to be transparent in your marriage is not easy. Anyone that tells you it's going to be easy is a lie. It's a big lie.
At least they learn from people with experience.
I've said it before. If a perfect God can make human being and the human being still decide to fall, do we think that we're just going to have it easy because of what? I mean, if it was that easy, billionaires will not be divorcing. Millionaires will not be divorcing. So it's not, to have a good marriage requires two people to be intentional about working things through. As a husband, you're going to come to a point where as a man that you're committed to your wife, irrespective of what she does, and that's outside of abuse. So I'm not advocating abuse in relationship.
Definitely.
But the thing is that whether we like it or not, we do difficult things as human beings. Whether if you're going to be a multi-millionaire, I'm here to see the millionaire that made this money easy. I'm waiting for that person that made that money as of inheritance. And even if you got it by inheritance and you have not done the work, you will lose that money. If you haven't put in the effort and time to know how to increase that what they gave to you, you will lose it. You will lose it as quickly as you got it. So it's very important that we understand that conflict, as some people have revealed, it exposes who we are. It exposes who we are. It reveals things that are not working, and the wise people that see conflict will see, okay, this is exposing a problem in our marriage. What can we do to resolve this situation? But the ones who are not wise will be pointing the finger, blame. And once you go down that route of blaming, you're not working your marriage. Because what happens is that as soon as someone starts thinking they're better than the other person, you're not working your mind. You are just destroying each other. You're not. But the wise people, eventually, sooner or later, will get to a point where, okay, we need to work on this. We need to work on this. And as they work on that situation and gain a solution, it will actually increase their willingness to work on the next thing. Because the more things you work on, the better you become at dealing with conflicts. And it depends on the level you are at in the relationship. It depends on the level you are at. It depends on where you are going to. Again, in a marriage, if you don't have a vision of where you want to go and how you want to get there, if you're just married just for the sake of convenience or whatever it is, and it's not because you have a vested vision, it's not because the two of you want to achieve something together, then you're not really going to be invested in each other, because there's nothing really pulling you upwards or somewhere, So yeah, the conflict will come, but it's really sometimes is to reveal your character, and it's also to help you improve in certain areas. The people who are very good with money, go and check it. It's because they've had to deal with probably a lack of it for a long time, or suffering at the hands of others. And at some point, they got to a point where I've got to find out how to get good with money. They didn't just get this money by mistake. They actually went to go and do some serious work. They went to go and find out, and they put in the effort and time and learned, researched, started applying things, and before they knew, things began to improve where finances were concerned. The problem is that we only work in the areas we feel benefit us at best. But when it comes to our marriage, we somehow, I don't know why we think we don't need to work on that, especially when you're going to be, unless you don't plan to be married for a long time, unless you think your marriage will just work just because. But anything that's going to be of worth and value is going to come through some level of effort, and it's going to come through some level of learning. And I think sometimes a lot of marriage, what I've observed is that people don't want to learn. They just think they can just tag along and hope to God things will go on. And for some people, it's a long time before they realize, and for some people, it's a short time, whichever one. But at some point, one has to realize where we're going with this, and how do you want to get there, and what do you want to do about it. Well, conflict is inevitable in marriage, and those who claim they don't have conflict, I don't think they last that long either.
No, I think they're still.
I don't think there's a conflict
themselves.
Now. If you are having,
playing.
if you're having now the issue is you don't want to have a situation where it's the same thing you're having conflict over. Then you're not actually solving a problem. You're not actually growing. You don't want a situation where it's the same thing. The issue is that the main thing is that you want to get to a point where you're not dealing with the same conflict again and again and again. Then you're not learning. But where you want to be is that you are actually learning and you're growing, and you're having less conflicts in the areas that matter. You're having less and less, and that means you're actually getting better at it. You're actually getting better at resolving issues. You're getting better at handling the matters, and they will happen from time to time, but it shouldn't be the same thing. You're having a situation over again and again and again. That means that you're not learning. That means that something is wrong. And I don't care who you think you are. If you're having the same problem for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, something is very, very wrong. And it means that no one is really addressing the situation or hasn't come to a point. And if in a marriage, someone is consistently, then you need to have time limits. You need to have proper boundaries. Within a 4-year period, certain things should have changed. And they haven't changed within 4 and 5 years. You need to reevaluate. You need to reevaluate and find out your options. And again, it's good to research.
Yeah.
Today we have Google now. Google is your friend. I think a lot of people say that. You can research.
Most of the time.
Find out things. Yeah, research. Look at information. Don't just be saying, "Oh, I'm stuck in this." You're only stuck in. I would say one thing in marriage. Don't give nobody outside of God and Jesus. Nobody has any power over you unless you give them that kind of power.
Yep.
No one has unless they are putting you in chains. But if they're not physically putting you in chains. No human being should ever have that kind of power over your life. They are human like you, whether they are man or woman.
Hey,
unless you
want
give
to open
them
another topic. Let's leave.
Okay, I'll leave it there. Let me know. I'm on the table. I'm on the table flipper. That's my sister's job. But I'm just saying we should not give any human being that kind of power. Once you start recognizing that this person is becoming too this thing, you need to address, am I giving this person more power than they deserve? Am I giving this person more power than, and I don't care what they do, I don't care if they're billionaire. No human being have a right over your life. If you're married to them, no human being have that desire, that comfort, unless you are given. And if you recognize it, acknowledge it, be aware of it, and begin to say, okay, I need to start setting the boundaries. I need to start setting up things that will protect my mental health, my emotional well-being, even in the marriage. And there are things you can do. Again, you can research these things. You can begin to put things in place that will help you address these issues. And at some point, the person who is who's perpetrating such behavior, they will begin to find that you're no longer either A, you're no longer allowing them to have that dominance of your life, and B, you're no longer feeding them that behavior because you started to put things in place that you're like, I am no longer going to give into this situation anymore. I will no longer participate in such behavior going forward. And there are things you can do to begin to stem that thing. So all I say, yes, conflict is inevitable. When you are dealing with human beings, it's inevitable. But how you go about it is the wisdom that is really needed. And we can find that out through our research. Me as a Christian, and I love what our hosts have said, the Holy Spirit is the biggest game changer.
Oh my.
I cannot mention how many times in my marriage with the Holy Spirit has advised me against my own will to go and say sorry to my wife and mean it. And I mean really mean it. Not in the heat of the moment, but actually when the time is out, go and say, okay, honey, I'm sorry, I own this situation. And actually say I own it. So it's something that is very, very important in marriages. But conflict, if you're having a particular problem again and again and again, you need to go and find out why that's happening. That is not the purpose of conflict. If that is constantly being revealed and is not changing, then both couples are not growing up in that area. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Before you leave it there,
Also,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Go ahead. It's one of my children talking to me.
I would ask you the same question. What role does family upbringing play in how to handle marital conflict?
Oh, family upbringing. That's one thing that if your family brought you up well, they taught you learned conflict resolution, you learned how to apologize, how to find forgiveness, fine. But even with that, you still need to go get your own information because you're not married, you're not going to marry someone just like your family. So family upbringing can be a hindrance and it can be a blessing, but you can't allow that to be the standard in your marriage. So family upbringing does help to a certain extent. But if your family upbringing has been unhealthy, then the number one thing you can do before engaging in a relationship with somebody else, especially if it's going to involve marriage, is to first of all be aware that there were unhealthy things that you have learned and you need to unlearn those behaviors. So there may be some coping mechanisms that you have picked up in order to deal with family dysfunction. And in your marriage, it is not going to work. It is not going to work. And you have to have the presence of mind to be self-aware. And this is where, for me, counseling is a massive game changer. And especially if you do that one-on-one before you even get married. Get therapy to begin to explore. But again, a lot of people just go in life thinking they are okay when they're probably very, very sick emotionally and mentally. And they don't know that until they're in a situation. And unfortunately, they can mask it by performance. So what I mean by performance, especially for men, is as the lady has already mentioned, I'm the one who earning good money. That's a mask to cover for a deep insecurity. And that's somebody saying, I am not willing to deal with this area because I'm successful in that area. And they don't work. It will never work. Because when you get married, you're not married to someone who becomes less than you. You're married to someone who's supposed to be beside you. So if you come in with this dominant behavior, you're working, I'm not going to call it under a curse, but you're working under a very simple behavior, but you're justifying it because you got a strength that others may admire, but they don't live with you to know who you are. So if you don't unlearn those behaviors and patterns of behavior, if you like, you can divorce 1, 2, before you know, you have 4 marriages in. And let me tell you, second wife, they're the ones that can give you the headache. They're not going to be as tolerant as the first one, and it continues. So that behavior, at some point, you will be forced to face the error of your ways. So if you don't unlearn bad behavior or dysfunctional family upbringing, you're going to have difficulty in relationship, because part of relationship is the willingness to recognize where you are at fault. That is part of maturity, is recognizing when you are at fault.
Indeed.
Whether you are passive aggressive, whether you are rhino behavior, whichever characteristic, is recognizing that those things needs to be healed. And if you don't unlearn those behaviors, or you don't have the self-awareness to recognize, okay, this behavior, it needs to change, and I need to go and get help about it, then yeah. And that's why you see a lot of these celebrities, until they eventually get caught, that they can go on for decades, because they justify it because they make a quote unquote a lot of money. So all the other behaviors are just overlooked until somebody gets seriously hurt, deeply hurt. So we need to be careful that we don't look at a strength, especially when it comes to making money, as a justification for bad behavior. It's not going to work in marriage.
Definitely not. Okay.
So yeah, so if those individuals don't unlearn those patterns of behavior, they are not going to, and today, unfortunately, we're celebrating such people today. They are not married, they're having multiple children, and people just overlook it because they're making a lot of money. But you can see that they can't be married. They can't stay in a marriage. They cannot stay in a marriage.
It was all about money. We all won't be in it, or won't be there.
My sister, me is the grace of God. I am very grateful for God getting a hold of my life, because I know that would have been the pattern that I followed, because my dad had similar behavior. That was a similar pattern of behavior. And I'm very grateful to God that the Holy Spirit, the Lord, just got a hold of my life and begin to teach me certain things and begin to take me through a pathway and say, you can't, that if you continue this behavior, you're going to continue this pattern of not having a good marriage. And I'm grateful today that I can say I'm in a good marriage, and I'm in a very good marriage. And that's not by my own strength. I know that because I've had a lot of people support me. I've had a lot of things I had to unlearn, and I had to learn a lot of things. And I've shared that in this group a few times. What is very important. So I'll leave it there. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. My goodness, family upbringing plays a huge role, and that's why the role of counseling would always be effective, because even the people, they're not really consciously aware that their upbringing has affected and shaped their mindset, and now they brought that, whether consciously or unconsciously, into their marriage, and they find out that they're always having conflict with their spouse, because some of them might even think, she's not doing it like my mom would do it, or she's not doing it, he's not doing like my dad would do it, whatever. But this is not your dad, this is not your mom, this is a different person altogether. And sometimes if your parents, they don't have a good conflict resolution strategy, is whatever you saw growing up that you tend to bring to your own home, whether it's right or wrong, or it's right for your marriage or wrong for your marriage, you're not even thinking about that. And that's where the conflict kind of festers, because this person is thinking, is that how to resolve this? Is that solution? And they also are thinking how they're coming from their own background, upbringing, and all of that. And it just seems like they're loggerheads all the time. So when a counselor comes into that scene, they have to check both partners, to see what are they bringing to this marriage? Where are they coming from? Do they have baggages that has left unattended? Do they have experience, and all of those things? So I'm surprised really then when you said the counselor just sat there. I've heard of one or two clients who they've seen other counselors and they reluctantly come through the channel where I work. And then they will say, sometimes in their body language, the way they will sit is like, what do this one have to offer me, kind of. After all, I've been to therapy before, it didn't work. Now, whether maybe through a doctor or whoever referred them, and their body language is so like defensive, kind of, am I going to open up to this person because it didn't work in the past? Can imagine. So I have a bigger bone to contend with. And once I see that body language, I will know where to begin from. Because if they're not relaxed in that space, and if they're bringing their baggage from past therapeutic sessions to my session, they've not even given me a chance to see whether I'll be able to help or not, those kind of a thing, is similar to this conflict we're talking about. And at some point, I remember there was like an elderly client, and hers was really bad. She actually practically sat, because we face our clients in the space. This person sat, instead of facing me, they actually faced the wall, like. And then in the middle of the session, it mentioned that, oh, they went to this therapist before, da 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 da. I said, well, I'm not them. Okay, I don't know what type of therapy you went for, but here I combine this, da da da, and all of that. And this is the first session, because you can't just lump all that on me. You're not even helping yourself. What am I saying is, when you go to counseling as couples, they would help you discover certain things you do not know about yourself, or certain things your spouse is always nagging about that you really are not hearing. The therapist would help you listen and hear and listen to them, and try to help you understand, because the therapist will ask you, what do you think your wife meant by this statement? Or what do you think your husband meant by this statement? They want to hear your words. And when you say, the husband say, no, 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 that's not what I'm saying. But imagine you together by yourself at home. Hey, that thing will escalate to something else. But there's a third party to help you calm the space, to help you reason, at least logically reason. Okay, you misunderstood that. I think what your husband is trying to say is this, that, that, which really does help. And the more you go, you find out that you're actually calm enough to listen, because you don't want the therapist to be the one interpreting for you all the time what your spouse is saying. Sometimes I feel some people feel a bit ashamed, so they will have to listen whether they like it or not, and they now start hearing what their spouse is saying. And then you now find out that after a while, they're able to talk in the session. Maybe after some time, the therapy might actually sit back and let them make conversation and see how far they will go. It could be a conversation they failed at home, to make a headway, and now say, try that here. Let's hear all of us hear ourselves. And you now find out that when they're, at that high level voice, the therapist will have to come in and say, what are you hearing? What do you think this person is saying? And all of that. Because these things sometimes is like a demon. It just does not want you to hear and understand what each other is saying. And therefore you fight each other. Conflict that is unnecessary, the devil will help you bring it out and make it bigger than what it is. So that's why we need a lot of prayer. God to help us. Let my spirit man be calm enough to hear this love of my life. Let them be calm enough to hear me as well. Because prayer without works is dead. We have to pray and do the work as well, so that everything can come out beautifully at the end of the day. What have I been saying? The role of a counselor, a good one actually, is very key, is very important. And you find out that they can guide you, help you with some strategies. And then you don't even have to go back. You can practice those things. And before time, you find out that, wow, this thing is working. We actually hear one another. We listen to one another. We actually understand what each person is saying. And you find out that conflict is a thing of the past. But it takes work, effort, and all that. So I'll leave it there. I'm gonna come to, let's see, Onoye, are you ready, or do I go to the next
Okay,
person?
yeah. Let me just drop my 2 cents.
Okay,
Good evening, long time.
it's been a long time. I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Leslie did a good job in admission as well. Spoken very well. But the thing is, we we can actually live without conflict, with good understanding, with good discernment of understanding. We can live with a conflict. But it's just that what really, at least we actually create this conflict by ourselves,
Sometimes.
knowingly and then unknowingly, we created it.
Thank you. Oh.
And the easiest way we create this conflict is familiarity breed contempt. You create it through that easily.
Sometimes.
And then once any of the partner is not learning, is not teachable, conflict comes through that easily. If one of the partner is defensive,
Oh,
not accepting blame, because at the end of the day, there is no way we're not going to blame somebody. As a football, we are team. 12 members playing the football, so we are 12 as a team. So now, by the time the goalkeeper deliver the ball to defender to midfielder, and then midfielder to you, the striker, and then you are left with the goal to score, and then you deliberately lost the ball.
ah,
So on that angle, you are the only one that actually did that mistake. So when a mistake is done by you solely, we have to say this one is your fault. This is your fault. So, but sometimes in relationship, you will see one partner will deliberately do this fault, but he doesn't want to accept the fault. And then you say we will solve it as a team together. Not that we're not going to submit it as a team together, but first of all, accept that it is your fault. So
yeah.
from there, we can move forward. So not accepting that it's your fault, from there, you start being defensive, it creates conflict again.
True.
So these are we create these things. And then some of us, before we go into marriage, we have some of our personal struggles that we refuse to put aside.
Seriously.
And then some of these personal struggle, we don't even relate it to the partner that we are getting involved with.
Yeah.
And then later on, that our personal struggles started creeping in slowly, slowly, and it started affecting our partner. And then sometimes our partner really wants to talk about that thing with that person, but the next partner will be creating those obscure mindsets for the partner not to talk about it. Because you will see some kind of party that once they're that particular, maybe it might be the man or the wife having some issue with our own family. If the man try to want to put some idea, the woman might block it. If the woman want to try to put some idea to the man might block it. He will say, no, don't worry, don't worry. So these are some of the things. And when the things keep going on like that, like that, like that, if you're having a pattern of behavior, we are all, how do I believe, we are all Satan's being. We feel stuff. So if the pattern continue, you make the next person uncomfortable.
Without
So,
realizing. Yeah.
so if we stop being defensive, we can live without conflict, with a good understanding. I know some people will say one has to behave like Mumu, and the other one will be wise, but it's not necessary. If we really understand, have that good discernment, know that this thing I've done is wrong, know that this thing that this my partner is saying is correct. There's no point arguing. We just work, we align with ourselves, and we go. So that's my little sense.
All right. Thank you.
So
Thank
I
you.
think you're answering about the upbringings of how did you
Yeah.
put the question again?
What role does family upbringing play
Upbringings.
in how to handle marital conflicts? Yeah.
Yeah, but the truth is, if on our family side, they don't really teach us conflict resolution, because at the end of the day, some of us do not even understand what actually caused the conflict between our parents. Sometimes they do the thing behind closed door. We don't even know what was going on. And then sometimes before the conflict will be resolved, some of us we don't even know. Majority of people don't know how our father and mother gets conflict and how it's doing. So we don't even know sometimes. So they didn't really teach us this thing.
No.
So we learn these things on our way when we start reading books. And then maybe sometimes when our parents, neighbors are having their own problem, we will now by chance be hearing some of the stories through the window, how they are now solving the problem. And then we read some books, we watch TV. So this is how we learn our own through the way then before we started involving in dating. So when we started dating, it is when we really understand what is called conflict. So from one relationship, we learn some stuff. To the next one, we might get better for those who review themselves after the first relationship failed. And you review yourself, you go to the next one, you get better, and then from there you get better, and then from there you start having the full on understanding, and then from there on you started living well. You live conflict free in the next one.
Okay. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. You know, I used to hear this saying before. I thought about it, reflected on it, and I'm like, no, this is not right. I've heard couples or people say, I don't let my children see when we're having conflict or whatever. And before I'm like, it's true, don't let them see that. But it was when I sat with that and I thought of it, and I'm like, okay, you're having issues. These children are not aware. I'm not saying go on all the time or whatever, but you know, things happen the spur of the moment. I get it. When you now reconcile, you don't let them see when you reconcile, just like Onoye is saying. And I thought to myself, this was years back, and I said to myself, sometimes, you know, this conflict sometimes is unexpected. You're just sitting, everybody's sitting there, you're talking, before you know about one thing, say, no, it's that. And then, of course, maybe the children or some of them are here and there. I'm like, it's good they hear, because marriage is not perfect. But one thing that we make sure is when I'm all over my husband again, they're like, you people, was it not you people were hearing? And now, you know, let them see both sides of life, because that's the only way you balance things for them. If you're hiding conflict, it's only when they see you, you're all lovey-dovey, they will have the impression that there's nothing so-called conflict. This is my own observation and my own experience. I might be wrong. It may not work for you. Don't take it as such, but I'm sharing my own experience, because there's certain statements in the society out there we've imbibed and is not helping us really. Some of us in our marriages, and the children we're bringing up, they don't see you fight, they don't see you quarrel, they don't see you do nothing, and then they will now marry, and then they will think this is how life is, and then their wife or husband is giving them issue, you know, be like, but my parents never fought, they had the best marriage, what is with this person? I can't take it anymore. You now call mommy and daddy, they now tell you stories. You remember that time we went to that ice cream place, we just fought, but then they will now find out how to adjust their brain, because growing up, they never see this. What am I trying to say? We need to balance life for our children, because this marriage thing we're talking about, the moment you start bringing children, if it's 2, 3, 4, that's 4 generations you're pouring out back into the society, and then you're not equipping them for their own marriage to come. Because if all they see is all lovey-dovey all the time, that's how they'll think marriage life is. And they grow up, and now their spouse will now be spouse from hell, because this person is not just all lovey-dovey with them. You're not balancing life for them. And this thing, we need to be careful as well, because we don't want to portray to them, oh, marriage is a bed of roses. You need to let them know that it could be tough. It could be rough. I mean, why are people separating? Have you ever sat and talked about divorce with your children? What do they even understand? But they'll find we're not in it, thank God, or whoever is in it. To God be the glory, whichever way. Have you actually sat and discuss, divorce with your children or separation with your children? Do they know what it means? And even some couples, they have separated, but they're still in the same house. But the children, they don't know. They still see mommy take them to this, daddy will come, they go party, But they know as couple, they're separated, even though they're still in the same house. And these children they're having, some children are very, very inquisitive, would ask 1 or 2 questions, and you think you're hiding stuff. They would ask, oh, thank you, Onoye, thank you for this cap. And they would ask questions, and you're thinking, you thought you're smart with the way you're planning and being strategic and all. But these children are seeing you. God help you, they're teenagers. They will if I had no caution, the way they will ask you, you yourself, you feel ashamed, thinking you've hid everything so beautifully well. What am I trying to say? There will be conflict, but let our children know something called conflict and the best way to tackle it. Even if you're not going through conflicts, these are discussions you can have at a family meeting with your children, or time out with them or something. Let them, ask them, what do they even know about marriage? For me now, 26 years is no joke. I want to believe my eldest, at least he knows, okay, yeah, I hear you. Knows, left from right to whatever. This can happen, that can happen. But at the same time, doesn't mean we don't love each other. But from time to time, we may not see eye to eye on certain things. And it's part of marriage life. If you understand that this is part of it, all we need to know is to manage it well so that it doesn't break us apart or it doesn't break our family apart. Because, like I say, God's intention is not for marriage to say, I do, and then the next day you're not doing, another time you're doing, you're not doing, and all of that. So, as much as it lies on the husband, on the wife, there is work to be done in order to enjoy that marriage life. Thank you so much, Onoye. Oh, he dropped or said he'll be back, hopefully. So, I'm going to come to. I'm not sure who came in first, is it Sheung or Ambokwishi? I don't know, I can't see the full name. Let me say Ams. Ams, I'm going to come to you before I come to Sheung. Ams, are you there? I know we all have been speaking, but, we like to allow each person, air their views. And then please, thank you so much, I understand. Thank you for your patience. Let me press it because I can't say the name. Amps Cuisine? Is it Amps Cuisine? Are you there? You are muted. Okay, I'm going to come to Sheon. Sheon, are you there? Can you speak at this moment? You're welcome to Insight. How are you?
I'm good. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, clearly we can.
This is
Clearly.
this is my first time on.
Yay!
It's actually my second TikTok live ever.
Wow, I feel honored right now. Thank you. In fact,
You'll have to bear
so
with me.
what made you stay here, to be honest?
No, it's just the topic. I find the topic very interesting.
Oh, okay. Are you married yourself?
Yes, I've been married for over 17 years now.
Wow. Well, you're in the right place because we need all the experience we can gather from you, all the nuggets.
I'll be your senior.
Eh? You are my senior.
I'm joking with my friend. I say I'm his senior.
Oh, he's
okay.
my senior. That's what he's saying.
Oh, okay. Well, it is well. At least we all come with some sort of experience in our marriage. So I don't know if you heard part of my talk or
Yes, I've heard the last, I think, 30 minutes, to be honest. So I think I have a good grasp of what the topic is and what everybody's saying.
Okay.
Everybody's made valid and interesting points. I think I'm just going to add to it.
Okay, please.
And where am I going to start from? I think the first thing I will say is marriage will humble you.
Oh, tell me about it.
we all go into marriage with this notion. We go into this marriage of expectations and goals and aims. And once you get in, reality strikes, and it's now a case of how am I going to adjust? This isn't what I signed up for. This isn't the way it's supposed to be. Where do I go? Who do I tell? So I think that's from personal experience. I'm the second of 7 children.
Wow.
So, and as the first boy in Nigeria, you have all the respect and all the adulation of everybody. That was my upbringing. And when I got married, I was kind of expecting the same thing from my wife. And it wasn't working that way.
Welcome to real world.
Exactly. And it got even worse when we came to the UK.
Oh, wow.
So it was a bit of adjusting, but I think ultimately for me, it was a case of don't fight with it, just accept what is. Now, what do I mean by that? You are 2 different people with 2 different upbringings, with 2 different perspectives of life. And ultimately, you are trying to go on a journey together. I stopped having issues when I stopped trying to change my wife.
Please repeat that again, please.
I stopped having issues when I stopped trying to change my wife.
Oh, thank you.
And And my marriage became a lot more fun when I allowed her to just be herself and just be. And funny enough, when I allowed her to fly, that was when we became closer, as opposed to when I was kind of, I won't say caging her, when I was a bit
Molding. You're trying to
restrictive.
mold her, groom.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a case of, I was comparing her to my mom. I was comparing her to the way my mom related with my dad. And she definitely wasn't functioning that way. But the moment I allowed her to just be herself and allow her to fly, life just became a lot easier. We have arguments all the time. Oh. We still had one today,
Oh, okay.
but the argument doesn't get to a level of
Resentment or
yes,
bitterness.
it doesn't get to that level. I think over time we've matured to that level. Initially it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So like today's argument, after the argument, I was on my way out. I just went out, and before I got to the train station, she sent me a message. She sent a heart, love you regardless. And in my mind, I'm thinking, silly woman,
Yeah.
love you too. And you just learn to end it
Yeah.
quickly. If you can end the arguments quickly, life is a lot better. My sons see us arguing, but they know that those two don't mind them. Eventually, they'll sort it out. So I also agree with what you said about, your children should kind of see some of these conflicts, if not all of them, but they should know that, life isn't a bed of roses. I'm not going to say more than that, but and I think in time, things will, the way things are now are not the way they're going to be in 10 years. And in 10 years after that, it's not going to be the same, because both of you are growing, both of you are maturing, both of you are changing. The goal is to continue to make sure that your values and your bond and your goals are in alignment. And it's easier when, Christ is in the mix. So I think I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Thank you. So, but before you leave it at that, Sheon, do you believe that conflict is always a bad thing in a relationship?
No, 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 no. I think conflict is as important as good times. Because how can you appreciate the good times if you don't have conflict?
I guess so.
You
Well,
can't compare, you can't value light if there is no darkness, and you need darkness to value light, if that makes sense.
well
So
said.
conflict
Thank
is
you. Yeah.
is part of it. And it's because it's through conflict we grow, and it's through conflict we get better. You learn more when you fail than when things are going well. And I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you. In fact,
Host, please let me say one word, yeah?
please go ahead.
Even Shehu said something already that agrees with it. Because he said they had an argument, even today. And as soon as he wanted to leave the house to go to work, the wife now sent a half me. And he too replied by saying, that's enough to tell you that he has a way of spicing up things. He has a way of making me, yeah. It can't just be smooth. No, no.
The more reason we should finish early so that Sheon can go and attend to my
Okay,
big sister. You know what I mean?
I'm getting out now.
Hostess,
Let's
I said,
keep
don't say it's not 10
it real.
o'clock.
We keep it real and simple.
We're not finishing at 10 o'clock. Oh.
No, you can go and make tea for her. What do you people think I was talking about? Anyways, okay, I'll come to the next person. Ambush, are you there? I really need to know, because otherwise I might have to use that box for somebody else. You've been like paused for a while, so please send an invite when you feel you're able to speak, because I need the box, please. Sorry about that. Susan, if you're there, Kenneth, I'm bringing you up. If you're anyone that is available. So I'm going to come to Debbie before I come to family life. Thank you all for your patience. I really appreciate your coming in tonight. It's very interesting. Elder Debbie, I'm coming to you now. How are you? How's your day been? Happy Thursday, all of the above. Please don't tell me you can't speak where you are now.
Good evening, my lady.
Good evening. I hope you're
Good
good.
evening. Well. We have no choice.
Thank God.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay.
They're hearing
What
you.
do you want to
Don't
say?
worry.
I only heard I heard when Mr. Leslie was speaking. So
Okay.
I guess we are talking about conflict in marriage.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody has spoken.
We
So
know.
what's the question?
The question is, do you believe conflict is always a bad thing in a relationship? And what role does family upbringing play in how to handle marital conflict?
Um,
Yeah.
when it comes to marriage, I don't think conflict is a bad thing.
Okay. Another
I
person
don't
attesting to that.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It can be a bad thing if it's leading to violence.
Okay.
But as long as it's not, what's it called? We argue, we have misunderstanding on matter. Okay, there is what's it called? Was it like a podcast or something on? Was it on TikTok? The guy
Yeah.
was saying he told his wife when he wants to marry, when they were about to marry there. I know we will fight in this marriage because we are not coming from the same house. We don't have the same upbringing. We carry different traumas. But let me warn you on one thing. If we are fighting on in kitchen, don't let that fight cross that kitchen. If we are fighting about pot, let's talk about pot and let it go. Let's face exactly what we are fighting about. Don't let kitchen fight come to the bedroom or to the sitting room. Let's sort it out. See, a lot of people, which I believe is trauma, if the problem is about a cup, instead of them to address the matter on cup,
They will
they
bring
will now
television.
leave, God
They will
bless you,
bring
they will now leave
television.
cup alone. They will now talk about broom, talk about,
Oh,
and with that, that has turned to unhealthy conflicts.
yeah.
Oh wow, who gave me money? Wow, it's time to go and buy the house I'm dreaming for. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So a lot of people don't know how to handle conflict, and like everybody have said,
Is
the
our new guest today, Sheung?
oh wow, the way God will bless you. I've been dreaming of one particular car. You'll be trying to go and buy it. Oh wow, God bless you, sir. It's like he's accepted into the family already. Don't worry, I don't need to scrutinize it.
I think we knew that you're the one collecting offering, no?
Honestly, he knew I'm the treasurer.
Wow.
Sometimes it's trauma. Sometimes it's trauma from where they are coming from that they didn't heal from. A lot of sometimes it's what they grew with, modeled and all that. Sometimes it's trauma. That's why before you get involved with somebody's son or somebody's daughter, learn yourself, know yourself. If you need therapy, please go for it. That way you'll be able to know what your problem is and then sort it out.
Yeah.
Conflict will always happen. Even if it's not marriage, any kind of relationship, there will always be. If there is no conflict, then something is not balanced. Then something is not balanced. The thing is, as long as it's healthy, as long as it's not linked to violence, you discuss it, you talk it through, and then everybody will be fine.
Amen to
Everybody will
that.
be fine. We didn't grow up from the same home. We didn't have the same lifestyle. We didn't have the same upbringing. In fact, regardless that we are all Christians, oh, not all, regardless that some of us call ourselves Christians and we read the same Bible. No, we might not read the same Bible. We read the Bible. We still got different translation of it. No, we don't read the same Bible, but
Or different understanding.
we still have different understanding of it. You might be reading King James Version, I am reading American Version. We still have different understanding of it. So regardless of that, we have different understanding, different mindsets, different upbringing, different perspective. Now we are coming together from that kind of background. We have to make sure we are aligned on one thing or the other. When it happens, sort it out. Some people, it is everybody have spoken, especially in fact the way Mr. Leslie, I don't know what happened today. The fire he came with today, oh, I was like, wow, today is today. It was really on fire, because at the end of the day, this thing is actually, sometimes you will hear what some couples are having issue on, and you'll be like, as in, are you
Seriously?
for real?
Have you
And
heard the
you be
one that
like,
say somebody pressed toothpaste? They didn't press from bottom, they pressed from the middle. And that's the reason for the conflict.
yeah,
Serious conflict, oh.
something that you just all you need all you need to is just to address it. And sometimes it's how you even address it. Sometimes it's how you address it, it's how you approach that person. Oh, they place the cup wrongly, and the next thing is, are you blind? Are you hello?
They will send you
Even me,
home.
if you come to me that way, definitely my defense wall will be up. So I think we should just a lot of people just need to learn to understand how to live with each other and how to manage conflicts. So the second question says, how does family, is it family you said?
What role does family upbringing play in how to handle marital conflicts?
Actually, for some people, depend on the kind of family. Some family is better not to get them involved in your conflict. Some family, their background already is actually a no. There is no peace for the wicked once you enter, except the person is already renewed in their mind and that. So family background sometimes can play a negative impact when it comes to conflicts, and some can play positive impact. Depends on the people involved.
Yeah.
Depends on the home, because a lot, like I think Mr. Onoyo, Mr. Shem, one of them said the house we grew up from, a lot of our parents, even when they have arguments, when they are having the argument, you don't know when they are solving it. And for some of us that grew up in Christian home, we don't know when they are solving it. We just see that maybe few months after, we are expecting a baby.
Oh my goodness.
Do you understand? So that's why a lot of African children don't know how to manage or balance it, because they believe that, once they say sorry and that's it. Sometimes sorry don't solve it.
Yeah.
Sometimes sorry don't solve it, because the person you are saying sorry to, you said sorry the first time, you said sorry the second time, you said sorry, but you keep repeating the same thing.
Thing.
You keep
You don't even know what you're doing, period.
Yeah, that's why I said sometimes trauma modeling, it affects a lot of people. That's why I support everybody that said, before you get yourself involved with somebody's son or somebody's daughter, or if you are married and you are in this kind of situation, please go to therapy. Even if you are a Christian, don't say the Holy Spirit is my therapy. The Holy Spirit will do their work. Go to a professional therapist. Go to a professional therapist for the sake of your mental health, your partner, and your children. May
Yes.
God help us.
No, thank you. Sorry becomes useless at such a level. I'm telling you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
It's like before they even can say you're coming to say sorry, they know. But
They
then
already know the next thing you want to say is sorry.
and then you see go back to the vomit. I know the Bible talks about a sin that so easily besets us, but he has given us the grace and the power to overcome, anything like that. Anyway, let's not go
You know
into
the
that.
man I was saying, it was the wife that was saying the story, and she said, I didn't grow up in that kind of environment where we are arguing about being, and we have to talk about every other thing, even the ones you have done months ago.
Yeah.
But the husband will be like, no. She said her husband is like, if it's about a cup, let's talk about the cup and solve it. Don't say because I moved the cup wrongly. Now you are not talking about the one I can't even remember.
Oh,
She
wow.
said it took her a while. She said it took her a while and a lot of conscious work to be able to get there. Now they are fine. But was it easy? No. That's why I said you have to be ready to do the work. Apostle said something yesterday. If you are not ready to work for marriage, don't marry. If you are not ready to do the work, don't marry. Don't put somebody's son or daughter
Yeah.
in trouble.
Bondage.
God
Yeah.
help us.
Amen. Thank you. So thank you for for your contribution. I mean, the family upbringing plays a huge role as well, no doubt about that. And we establish the fact that conflict is not always a bad thing. Actually, brings about growth, which I remember. That's where I ended my own talk as well. Family life. Good evening. How are you? I hope you are good. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi guys, hello.
You all right, sis?
Yeah, bit tired,
I
but
know. Does my face not tell my own too? If I had my way, well, I would just lie down here and let you guys be talking. But
good day.
it's all good, thank God. It's Friday, yay! I love Fridays because, yeah, I can put my feet up a bit after. So we've been saying a lot about conflicts in marriage. I'm sure you've heard all the people that have been speaking and all. We want to hear your views. We have some nuggets for us. If you want to try or start with the questions, I don't know. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to say it will be unusual to not have some kind of conflict or disagreement or say differences in opinion, differences in perspective. That would be very strange. So I think what we should actually expect is that we're not going to agree on everything. We're not going to see things from the same. It's going to be a 6 and 9 position. We will not see things from the same point of view.
All the time.
Yeah, but I think it's so that should be the norm. To say I will agree all the time, we never. That's actually an alarm bell for me because it's not practical. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to conflict as well as communication, guys, we
Oh, okay. So,
just to highlight, there's two main things that ruin relationships and marriages:
thank you.
conflict resolution and communication. Imagine that 60% of divorces have something to do with either assumption or failing to communicate. So that means that communication is a big thing when it comes to relationships. So when it comes at the stage of vetting, I always want to start from the foundation. When it comes to the vetting and who you choose, it's so important that we choose people that we get along with. It's so important because that foundation, who you get along with, if you get along with, it's so crucial to what happens down the line. So we've got to get this vetting thing right.
Yes.
I keep telling young girls, you can't be choosing people based on what they look like. I'm not saying looks are not important, but I'm saying they're not that important. They're paid
Not
in
priority.
comparison. Yeah, they're paid in comparison if you want to think about the substance. Because it's not how tall or how short a man is or a woman is. It's how their mind. The Bible says, deal with them according to knowledge. The Bible didn't ask you to marry people for love. Deal with them according to knowledge. As a man thinketh, so is he. The mind is very important to establish how is this man thinking? How does this woman think? And if you look at that, then a lot of things come into play. How do they think? As in, what is their goal? What do they value? Do they value war over peace? Do they want peace over war? Do they what is it that they value? Does this person know how to pick their battles? What do I mean by that? There are some things that don't have any impact. If it's not going to have any impact, if there's nothing major, you just leave it. As compared to some things that are quite measured will be impactful if you don't deal with them. So we need to start knowing, what can I negotiate? What is a non-negotiable? And you have to know yourself first. Personalities also come into play, background come into play, because people tend to mirror and repeat what they've been exposed to, what has been modeled to them. The way a young man or young woman will address or will manage conflict strongly depends on what they've observed the adults in their lives do, from when they were children and then into adulthood. So if they've grown around people who are very reactive, they've grown around people who are very impulsive, there's a chance that they'll do exactly the same thing. And then brings me again to the point where I say we should not be marrying people without understanding their roots, their background, their family setup, and where they came from. You shouldn't be marrying a man without knowing who his father is, or who his mother is, or who raised him, whether he was raised by a big brother or a grandparent. You need to know who raised this person, because that man and woman is at least 50% of that person. So unless they are no longer on this earth, to marry a man or a woman without understanding who raised them or not seeing them, you're doing yourself a disfavor. Because people will mirror, will copy what they saw when they were growing up. To some extent, when people become exposed and experienced, and they can unlearn things, but trust me, there's always a default. That is why you hear somebody will say, oh, I don't like the way my father was treating my mother. But when they marry, they do to their wife exactly the same thing.
And if not worse.
If not worse. Because that is their default. Even though they know I don't like it, that is their default. Those are their tendencies and their patterns, and that's what they'll default to. So it's very important to know people's background. Because why is it important to know somebody's background? Because there's a 50% chance that he's going to mirror exactly what he saw in his background. And when I say background, I'm conscious of the fact that not everybody was raised by a biological parent. Some people were raised by siblings, some people were raised by grandparents, some people were talking about adoption these days. So it's about who does this person have in their mind as the model for marriage. That's what they know, that's what they would likely copy. Now, if your background is not the best, we're not saying there's no chance for you. It's a question of how much awareness do you have about the fact that this background was faulty, or this part of it was not the best? And how have you worked on that to make sure that it doesn't affect you, it doesn't repeat itself in the future?
Or you don't repeat such.
You don't repeat it. So that it now comes down to how much work has this individual done to kind of overcome where they come from. And it's you who is to marry them to establish how much work they've done on themselves. It will be a huge disfavor if you don't know at all. When it comes to conflict, if a couple understand the bigger picture, it can even be friendship. But no, I'm mindful of the fact that we're talking about marriage here, but it can even be friendships, because it starts from friendships, colleagues, then intimate relationships. If the two people are zoomed in onto the goal, the greater picture, the big picture, then the little things that are kind of distorting or a bit challenging to get us to the big picture will not matter. But if one person's eyes or both eyes are not on the big picture, as in we need our family to be sustainable, we need ourselves to be happy, we need a healthy, we need all of us for well-being, for all of us to be happy. To release the little fight over toilet tissue, to release the little fight over who finished the milk in the fridge. I'm not seeing the bigger picture, then there's a problem. If you're not able to zoom into the bigger picture like a couple, there's going to be a problem. And if only one person is able to do that, you're still going to have a problem, because you find the one person that is there to pick up the pieces, and then it becomes overwhelming. It becomes eventually they burn out. It can't be one person doing it. So for me, I would say conflict, disagreements is normal, should actually be expected. I'll be worried if everybody is agreeing all the time. And if you're looking at me or you're dating, you're like, oh, I've never seen him angry, and we've never ever disagree. That's not good news. That's not good news at all.
Exactly. We're not scaring you, but that's reality.
That's not good news at all. You have to see how people react to things. You have to know, what does he do when he's angry? What does she do when she's angry? When things don't go her way, when she's met with a no, What does she do? What does he do when he's met with a no? When things don't go their way? When they are under pressure, what do they do? You have got to know that, ladies and gentlemen, before you go around getting into long-term relationships with people. You have got to know. You have got to know. I don't care if you have to trigger it. I don't care if you have to wait for time to reveal it. You have to know how a man or a woman reacts to pressure, reacts to conflict, reacts when they are angry. You have to know those tendencies. You have to. You don't want to find that out after you've already committed to them. And it starts from the small things. Just people, as the people show themselves. If we have enough discernment, we have enough knowledge, we can start seeing those things. It starts from the simplest of things, because you can ask me, but Angel, how do you know? You're dating somebody or you're courting somebody. They say, I'm going to do this. Or we agree that we're going to maybe meet somewhere or do something or pray or something. And then this person doesn't show up. They don't make that telephone call. And they don't call you back to say, listen, I know I said I was going to call you at 10 o'clock, but I was too busy. I got carried away. I'm sorry. I couldn't. There's nothing from them. And then you have to call and say, are you okay? We're supposed to meet here. Or you said you're supposed to do this and you haven't done it. Are you okay? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm okay. You say, okay, that's not one off. That repeats itself a second time. Repeats itself a third time. If you have a problem right there, you're dealing with somebody who is not only irresponsible, but they're unreliable. Because they say something and they do something else. I'm not talking about a one-off. I'm talking about when you notice a pattern of something, and then sometimes you bring it to this person's attention, and they wave it off. They'll be like, "Yeah,
It's nothing.
they play as if it's nothing." You have a problem. That thing, if you don't address that thing can cost you a lot down the line.
Yes.
It may look small. It can cost you a lot down the line. I'll give you another example. You are dating this person. You both are working. This person knows that perhaps you are not. You don't keep late night. You go to bed early. So this person, for example, may know that by 10 o'clock you've already slept. This person is consistently calling you after 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. And when you don't pick up, the next day is like, well, why didn't you pick up? Well, that is the time I finish work. It doesn't matter. You have a problem. If you tell somebody, if you're with somebody and the person knows that you don't keep late nights and you are somebody who goes to bed early, and they're persistently calling you after the time when you would have gone to bed,
No regard.
and then they're upset that you didn't answer, you can't play small. Those are your boundaries right there. That person, this is the kind of person when you're sleeping in the room, they're going to come and play music when you're sleeping. You cannot ignore things like that, because it might look small, but that is telling a lot about this person, their understanding of another person's space, their understanding of how to respect another. That is small, but it will become very big if you don't address it, if you don't walk away.
Yeah.
So what am I saying? We're dating people. We see some things that we may like or we may not like. We try to address them. Now, it depends on what this person says about this thing that you brought forward. Perhaps you're dating me, and every day I'm turning up looking like something, mixing red and blue and pink and everything together. This you can work on. Somebody's attire, how they dress, perhaps maybe their sense of hygiene, perhaps maybe they don't have a haircut very frequently. These are things that you can adjust, you can fix. Some things cannot be fixed. Character things, tendencies cannot be fixed. Somebody's integrity, are they kind? These are things that you cannot fix on an adult. You can fix for a child before they hit when it's now permanent. When it's now adult, you can't fix it anymore. So I'm suggesting that when we start dating people, we say we're courting, there are some things that when you see, things that are deep personality, character things,
Don't just wave it aside.
don't wave it. You're going to deal with it or walk away, because those things will become bigger and bigger and bigger. They will magnify.
Yeah.
So again, it's down to you. Who are you? What are your values? What is your vision and your purpose? If you align, it's fine. If you feel that the major things are conflicting, it's important to walk away, because it's not everything that you can fix.
A broken relationship is better than a broken marriage.
It's not everything that you can fix. Some things will follow you. You might think that oh, it's small, I can deal with it. No, you will not. You will suffer with that, especially if the other person doesn't have any awareness of how impactful this thing we're dealing with. It's another thing, they even have an awareness and they are trying to fix it. Some people have zero awareness. It's like you're speaking French. You say one thing, the other person is hearing another thing. And then another thing that may I say to add, it's important to establish for people to know how to separate my personality and my behavior. So this is me, I'm Angel. If I forgot to lock the front door, or didn't about the front door, you don't call me You don't group me into that thing. It's like when you're dealing with a child. If a child, you okay, host? If a child perhaps didn't do their homework and they got a detention, in the process of wanting to correct that or to deal with that, you should be talking about the fact that the child didn't do their homework and you're disappointed with them for not doing their homework and that they need to be able to manage their time. You're not talking about you're a bad child. Look at you, bad child. Oh, you're always this. Oh, you're always like that. Oh, you can never get anything right. Oh, you see the difference? Adults must be able to understand how to address issues and not the person. Address the thing, but not the person. One of the things that makes conflict escalate is when instead of talking about the thing, we're talking about the person and using things like, oh, you're always like that, oh, always like that, or never doing anything right, always like that. Those generalities just makes it worse. Host, is she on a phone call or something? Are we there? Everybody can hear me? I hope. So that was my take on that. I don't know if it's clear. Does anybody have any questions whilst we're at that? But yeah, that's my take on conflict. And to recap, conflict should be expected because we are coming from two different homes, two different families. So we'll never think the same. But it's how do we agree as a couple to manage conflict? For some people, they may put boundaries for them in place to help them. For example, some people will say, whatever happens, we're never going to sleep in separate rooms. Whatever happens, we're not going to sleep until this thing is resolved. That's how some couples put boundaries in place to help them in the course of their marriage. And then they'll use that as reminders that this thing is big, but we've agreed that we cannot sleep until we've discussed this thing or we've addressed it. So people will say, it doesn't matter what happens, we're not getting a third party. Some people will say, it doesn't matter what happens, we're never sleeping in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Put yourself some boundaries in place. Some people will say, we never argue in front of our children. So put some boundaries in place as you go to help you be able to resolve conflict. But the end goal is that it is me, you against this challenge as opposed to against each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, how best to end tonight, really? Everybody has really expanded it. Everybody have shared the experience. Thank you, Family Life, for really breaking it down some more. I want to believe everyone listening, whether in the box or you're just passing by and it's your first time. Sheil, thank you so much for joining in. There's a lady. Oh, I think she's gone because she was in the box for a long while. I tried to get her attention, but was just muted. So I needed the box. So I don't know if you're still there. What's her name again? I can't remember. God, for the life of me. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for your contribution. And like everybody have rightly said, conflicts will come in the marriage, whether we like it or not. It's not how we handle it that really matters a lot. If not handled rightly, it might break up that marriage. Some people end up separating. Even divorce can eventually happen. And you find out that some, all they needed was counseling for them to be able to be on the same page so that when conflict comes, they're on the same page, handling things together, not fighting each other. Some, they have controlling issue. It could be the man, it could be the woman, anyone. These are things from childhood that they brought into their marriage without realizing. So there's a whole lot. I was asking this question earlier before excuse me, people joined, that what do couples, in a relationship now before marriage, what do they really talk about? Do they even, what's the word now? Do they even see the red flags? Do they address it? Or they just push it aside? Oh, it's too sensitive, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, it's okay in this aspect. It's just this one we'll manage when we get married. Or you're compromising so much before you even say I do. It's a lot. Drew, I see you. Hi to you as well. So if you don't want a broken marriage, please start addressing those red flags before you go into that marriage. Some will say love is blind. Love is blind. I tell you, that marriage will open your eyes. And when you start seeing, you might not just like what you see. It might be as ugly as hell, so to say, and you can't handle it. So why put yourself through that? Test, sometimes you might have to test one another, bring a hypothetical scenario and, try to hear what your partner is going to say about it. What is their thinking about this particular issue. If this were to happen, what would you? Sometimes it's good to just test one another and ask. I know it's not our portion or whatever, but if this happens whilst we're married, how do you think you'll handle it? What do you think you will do? Hypothetically speaking, and you'll be amazed at their responses, whether good or bad. That will tell you what you need to work on or what you need to ask in terms of more questions and all of that. But at the end of the day, like we say, we keep it real and simple here. If we're saying you will never experience conflict, we lie. And we here, we do not lie. And I'm going to read what I wrote for my concluding part, so that if you're just joining or you're passing by, I really need you to capture this. Conflict in marriage is not the end of love. The fact that you're having conflict doesn't mean she doesn't love you anymore, he doesn't love you anymore. No, everything has its place. It can be the beginning of deeper intimacy. If you handle that huge conflict right, it might just bring you to a deeper level with your spouse that you never thought was there. It can bring better understanding, and it can even bring a renewed connection with your spouse. So conflict in itself is not all that bad. The goal is not to avoid conflict, people. It's not to avoid it, but to transform it into a tool for growth. Because we learn from our mistakes, we learn, we grow, we do better. That's how we're supposed to progress in life. But like we say, some people, they say old habits die hard. But we want it to die anyways, because if it's not helping this marriage, what's the need for the habits, really? Let the old ones die. Pick up new habits that will help your marriage, especially when going through conflict. Let's stop seeing conflict as a threat. Okay, let's start seeing it as an opportunity to learn, to listen, and to love better. Really, that's the whole essence of it. That conflict will not come. Nah, we will not fool one another. It will come, but how we resolve it, it matters a lot. And remember, if you're like asking or demanding or expecting something from your spouse and it's like it's not forthcoming, check their background. Their family upbringing may have played a role, and it's like you're asking from them what they don't even know or they know how to give. So you might have to be extra patient and talk about things. Don't bottle things up. Your spouse might not even be in that headspace at all. They might not, because of their upbringing, they're not even thinking that way at all. It will take you to open up their mind to certain things. Because like we say, even if you lived in the same village, you may not still have the same upbringing. So don't be assuming your expectations in your mind and they're not living up to it because they don't know of your expectations of them. Talk to them. They're your spouse. They're supposed to be your best friend, your mate, your personal person, and all of those things. Reach out to your spouse. Go on a date tonight and table your matter, whatever, as respectfully as possible. Because these words from our mouth sometimes, instead of building, breaks. We know ourselves. Be mindful, like I said, pause for a second if you have to. Think about what you're going to say in that conflict. That if they were to say it to you, would you accept it? Would you like it? Would you appreciate it? If you know not, do not say it to your spouse. And that's how simple it can be. Guys, thank you all so much. Let me stop rambling now. But know this, that God's intention for marriage is that we enjoy the goodness of marriage. And we ought to put in the work that it requires. On that note, I'm going to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for all your contributions. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Admissions. Thank you, Velgivet. I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. Sheon, thank you. A13, gracias. I see you. Family Life, God bless you. Amazing time. Always, where I hear you, I'm like, wow, I'm getting used to this, my sister. You remind me so much of Olumi somehow. Thank you so much. Elder Debbie, thank you. Susan, I know she said she had an early start, so she had to leave. Elder Adegbenga came in first and he said he was going to come back, but I haven't seen him. But I hope all is well with every one of us. I wish us a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. Hey guys, I've been told if you're in the UK, it's going to be extremely hot. So please look out, carry your water bottle everywhere you go. And I don't know if umbrella is allowed when the sun is so much. I don't know, whatever works for you, but just be safe, look after yourself. Have yourself a lovely night rest. We'll be back on Monday by the grace of God, where we talk about issues regarding individuals and how they can live life better. Guys, thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you so much for the likes. Nearly 200k. My goodness. My goodness. Wow, I think this might just be our highest so far on Insight. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate everyone. A13, God bless you. I hope your thumb is not aching right now. But all the same, have yourself a lovely night rest. Be good. Enjoy the weekend. And we'll be back on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time, by the grace of God. Good night, everybody. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. The future and life. Yeah, thank you so much. Water and ice. I know we chew on ice.
Until we forget, we can take you to 200 whilst we work our way out. Guys, let's
Yay,
take her to
okay.
200, please, if we could.
Yay, thank you. Wow. Oh. Conflict in marriage. It's sweet. When someone is saying we have sweet conflict, you know that they have overcome a lot for them to get to that space. Yeah, I know, 200. Whilst we're at it, you can just drop a rose, a heart to me. Thank you. It's only God that can repay all of us. I know sometimes TikTok will bring some message. I'll be wondering. It is well. I'll get used to saying it. Thank you so much. Yay, it's 190.7. We can do it. Let me check that. Toby Gold, I see you. Thank you so much. Drop off. Elder Debbie, you have to lead by example. You have to lead by example. Let me see. Aww. I see you, Drew. Kenneth, I see you. I've been trying to bring you up, but you didn't. Maybe you're at work or something. Toby Gold, I see you. A13, I see your back up there as well. Oh, thank you so much, Toby Gold. Thank you. 192. Yay. Whilst we're still tapping, I just remember this particular case of a client that came, I think early this year, or was it last year? And he said, you know what, he's given himself this opportunity to come for counseling first because the wife wouldn't, and that he wants to see maybe, you know, he's missing something or what and all of that. And at some point, I think it was the third or fourth session, I got to asking about the wife. Do you know your wife's background? What's her family life like? You know, and when he started talking, you could see that this person, the way they showed her love, it was damaging. Yeah, that's how I can put it. It was quite damaging. And I said to the man, look, you need patience with this person because it's obvious we're asking from her. You are asking from her what she doesn't know how to give. And he saw a lot of sense in that. And I'm like, okay, they don't like talking. When the talk gets too deep, it's like, let's forget about it. They walk away. They just avoid anything, sitting and talking, emotion and things like that. And this is a woman, and they always say women are emotional. Maybe some women, not all women, I tell you. And I said, okay, have you tried writing a letter? Write a letter, put a chocolate, put it somewhere where she will go. So, oh, she likes to make her tea first in the morning. Or, okay, just put it there, put the letter there, pour your heart, use a sandwich approach. Because the man really, I can see from his, his heart, he really wants to connect with her deeper than what they have. Of course, there's been some anomalies, in there somewhere. They thought they've gone past it, but somehow it's still, maybe the remnant of the effect is still kind of affecting them. What am I saying? This family upbringing plays a huge role in each individual's life, whether consciously or unconsciously. And the fact that some people are not even aware, and now they're in a marriage setup or setting themselves, is affecting their coping in that marriage, not just even conflict alone. maybe how to show love, how to be emotional. Some have really shut down emotionally. They haven't exercised their emotional side, so they don't know how to give emotional affection, so to say. So you can't really fight them or blame them, but sit down with them, talk with them. Do you know there's something called emotional affection or whatever it is? At least you have the knowledge. Ask them what is their take about that. Do they even understand that exists? And you'll be amazed that some do not even know what emotional what especially people from my side, so to say, and the men, no offense to anyone. So you can imagine, hey, 200. So it requires patience, a lot of patience, because everybody's coming from a different background. But then we want to enjoy our marriage. That's why we said I do. If I knew it was going to be so bad, I wouldn't go into it. But then we fell in love. We have the same values, share the same goals and all of that. Let's keep it by talking, expressing feelings and all of that. Yes, we did it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Family life. We're looking for a title we're going to give you. We should give you a title. Our motivator. Maybe. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. We did it. So thank you so much. We can release each other now to go and sleep. Thank you so much, Family Life, for the encouragement. Admissions, I see you. A13, Elder Debbie. Leslie, good night. Do have a lovely night rest. A13, gracias. Thank you so much. God bless you, Susan. And to Sheon, everyone that has said one thing or another, I appreciate you all. Have a lovely, lovely night rest. Good night, everybody. Oh, thank you. Good night, everyone. Have a nice weekend.